Live from Greensville County High School, it's time for Colonels football. The Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country. I'm Kyle Haney. Back with me again this week, my partner in crime, Agent Zero, the Big O, Oscar Briggs. Oscar, we gave you a week off last week, let Dave Haney get back in the saddle. That was fun, but it's time for you to return, and I know you're excited about returning for this long road trip. We're both excited to be here.
Absolutely excited to be back in the booth with you, and glad that Dave got an opportunity to knock the rust off a little bit. But nice that the Colonels were able to pick up a win over Prince Edward, 24-0. And tonight is a rematch from last year, Kyle, against AA school Greensville. Last year, the Colonels were able to beat them 41-12.
Yeah, Greensville County, if you recall, went up 12-0 in that game. Altavista obviously ran off 41 unanswered. It ended up being a pretty good game for the Colonels. Greensville ended up having a pretty good year, Oscar, 7-3 in the regular season, won a couple games in the playoffs. But that was last year. This is this year. Both teams have some changes for sure, and I think maybe Greensville lost a little bit more than the Colonels. They come in at 1-1 on the season, lost to Amelia that last week, and as you said, the Colonels on the road in Farmville beat Prince Edward 24-0. Score might be a little misleading, though, as you'll hear Coach Sharness and his coaching staff not really pleased with the effort, even though on paper it's a shutout win against a decent football team.
Well, it did move the Colonels to 2-0, but like you said, Coach Sharness and the rest of the coaching staff had a lot of work to do this week and a lot of what we'll call loose ends to tie up to make this Colonels football team more competitive.
Yeah, we'll catch up with head coach Mike Sharness. He'll talk about some of those loose ends and some changes that they may or may not have made. This is the Subway pregame show. You can eat fresh at the Main Street location in Altavista and also inside Walmart on the Clarion Road just off Route 29 in Altavista. The new Chicken Caesar Melt is available at Subway for a limited time only. He's Oscar Briggs. I'm Kyle Haney. It's Altavista Colonels football. They're taking on the Greensville County Eagles. You're going to hear all the action live right after you hear from the head coach, Mike Sharness. More all of that and more on the Subway pregame show. Colonels and Eagles going to kick off in about 30 minutes on 105.5 KD Country.
How do we make a better sandwich at Subway? Our new Chicken Caesar Melt is a great example. We start with tender rotisserie-style chicken that's raised without antibiotics. Top it with a savory Caesar sauce and add melted provolone and a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese for a flavor that's so deliciously unique, it redefines what a better sandwich should taste like. The all-new Chicken Caesar Melt from Subway. Limited time only.
A short drive will save you money.
I'm Greg Walker with an exciting new offer from Feller Chevrolet. Purchase any new or used vehicle of Fellers and receive a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and a 3-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Again, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a 3-day money-back guarantee. At Feller Chevrolet, we stand behind what we sell, and we save you money. Come see us. You'll be glad you did.
A short drive will save you money. Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
I'm Jeff Walker of First National Bank and the manager at our Main Street branch in Altavista. Did you know that local bankers have a lot more at stake in taking better care of you? You see, helping local customers like you be more successful is our only focus, and each customer is so important. So for your small business, construction, and personal loan needs, think of me and think of us first. That's local First National Bank. We'll help you bring home more bacon. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
We return to the Subway pregame show live from Greensville County. We're talking once again with the head coach of the Altavista Colonels, Mr. Mike Sharness. And Coach Sharness, before we get to tonight's game, let's revert back to last week for a little bit. I know you and I talked just a minute ago about how you try and put it out of your mind, but for the sake of our fans, we'll bring it back up. It was an interesting game because your defense played great, special teams played great, the offense
not so great. Let's start there with the offense. What do you attribute the struggles to?
Well, we had seen them on film, and we saw that they did like to stunt their linebackers a lot, and it gave us problems there. We didn't communicate well up front as far as how we were going to change our blocking scheme, because it does have to change a little bit on certain plays, and we just mentally we had some lapses, and then physically, if we did, number 50 for them, that their linebacker had a very good game. He's a pretty good football player. If we did put a hat on him to try to block him, we didn't do a good job of blocking him. So it was, physical mistakes, mental mistakes, and it was pretty embarrassing. We didn't feel very good after the game or this weekend as far as how we played. Defensively, we shut the team out, but we looked at the film, showed the film to the kids, and showed we've got a long way to go defensively too. You might not see it from the naked eye, but we're doing some things that we can't do against better football teams and expect to beat them. And our special teams, they weren't so special. Our punt team was bad. I took the blame for that with our kids. I do the punt team. I have the punt team, and we didn't practice it the way we needed to be as sharp as we need to be on that special unit, and we've worked on that this week. So we're going to see some changes there, and it'll be for the better.
Changes on special teams, but probably no major changes on offense or defense, right? Just trying to sharpen things up and more reps, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's no offensively for us last week they played a pressing man for man, and we have to have a certain passing game ready. I don't think I had the guys ready for that. So we're working on that aspect, and we probably got to throw the ball a little bit more. And I didn't feel comfortable throwing it Friday night. Mateo got sacked a few times, so I've got to do a better job picking certain routes, getting the ball out of his hand a little quicker, and that changes when you play a certain style of defense, and that's what they were playing, and they did a good job of it. But we'll hopefully we'll learn from it.
Let's talk about two guys that had some nice individual performances. First off, Lawrence Galliard, the 2 pick sixes. And not only that, he was in on a lot of tackles, deflected some passes. Talk about Lawrence, and he seemed to be out there on the field a lot more last Friday as opposed to week 1.
Yeah, he's a young man who we're watching closely to see offensively, defensively, where he can end up to help us, and he can be, and he proved to Friday defensively a playmaker, and offensively he's got a good frame. He's 6'2", can jump, so we're hoping we can get the ball to him and by the air also. And he's just a kid who's kind of been behind a little bit over the last couple of years with some injuries and coming out late, and I think he's just catching up to things, and so we're hoping we can continue big plays from Lawrence.
Well, the other guy I wanted to mention was Nick Boley. He banged in the 40-yard field goal, which is about the outer reaches of what you normally see in high school. Talk about Nick, somebody that could be a nice weapon for you this year in the kicking game.
Definitely. And if I say it's been a big surprise, that's taken a little disservice towards Nick. I think and I think a number of people are thinking when we had Walker for 2-3, well, he kicked for 4 years for us. But where he was his last 2 years did a tremendous job for us, and Nick has joined in this senior year, and he's in practice. He's hitting his PATs, and that's what we talked about at the beginning of the year. So Nick, we're not looking for 40-yard field goals. That's exactly what I said. We're looking for PATs and be consistent with our kickoffs. I knew he wouldn't be able to kick it as deep as Walker, but he could place the ball potentially where we needed him to place it. And here he goes, pops in a 40-yarder. Yeah, so we hope that, and he's kind of cool hand Luke there. He seems to handle things pretty good, pressure and all. So we hope to improve with that.
Well, the long road trip tonight takes us to Emporia to take on Greensville County. You guys handled them pretty good last year, but at the end of the season, they won a couple playoff games. I think they finished 8-5 overall. I know they lost some folks, but it seems like this is going to be a quality football team again tonight.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. They jumped out to a 12-0 lead against us last year, and they did. They played a week later than we did in the playoffs. You're exactly right. They graduated their quarterback and a big, tall 6'4", 6'5" receiver. But their quarterback this year is very athletic. They're running the football a whole lot more. They passed a lot last year. and their quarterback is a big threat with a lot of naked bootlegs where he gives the ball, hands the ball off a number of times, and then he'll fake it and just reverse out. And we've got to be extremely disciplined on the backside of our defense. They're going to be quicker. I think going back to the Prince Edward's game, we had issues offensively blocking. I said we had mental and physical. Part of the physical mistakes was that this Prince Edward team, was a little bit quicker than what we've seen in all our opponents so far. I think it had a little bit to do with it. And these guys are, and every other team we play probably now, they're going to be a little quicker each week. And we've got to be ready for their quickness. Offensively, they got some quick running backs. The quarterback, like I said, can definitely move his feet. So it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, do you think because of what happened in that Prince Edward game, teams like Greensville County and other people down the road would try to employ a similar defensive philosophy with the press coverage on the receivers and the stunning and shooting up front?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I think everyone else would. If you see something on film that a team's not doing well, yeah, you're crazy if you don't feast on that. But that's what I told the guys on the field Friday night. So there's your recipe right there to, if it's to stop us, slow us down, whatever. But, a Franklin team we played a couple years ago ran a similar style, and we executed very well that night and scored on big plays. And that's what you have to do. And that's what we were expecting to do against Prince Edward. We knew they were going to bring people on the line of scrimmage, and we were expecting to maybe them make some plays, but us still pop some runs and make big plays because of that. So we'll continue to work with it, work against it.
Sounds like the Colonels are going to be more ready tonight for the pressure. We'll see how they handle it against Greensville County. Kickoff in about 20 minutes on 105.5 KD Country.
Hello, this is Jerry Miley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about, to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
Napa know-how.
You don't need an air-conditioned steering wheel or high-performance supercharger to use Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil. Now just $5.79 a quart at Napa. Mobil 1 offers premium protection for all cars. Premium or not so premium. So give your ride Mobil 1 synthetic. Just $5.79 a quart. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 9/30/16.
Brought to you by Napa of Altavista, proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week. Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador, the happiest place in town, thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
54 years of award-winning high school football. I'm Kyle Haney. He's Oscar Briggs. It's the Altavista Colonels in town taking on the Greensville County Eagles. And look at that, Oscar. It's time for the national anthem. They're doing it early here. I'm not even going to make a joke about that as far as anything goes. But the band does sound good, so we'll step aside and enjoy that. And we'll be right back with more Subway pregame show. It's the Altavista Colonels and the Greensville County Eagles live on 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
El Cerrito in Altavista. Throw on a sombrero, shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only El Cerrito can serve up.
The Medicine Shop in Altavista, your Carolina boot headquarters with all sizes and styles of Carolina boots. The Medicine Shop, a full-service pharmacy.
One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
They're doing it right at the Dairy Freeze. Hot dogs, burgers, fries, and of course, ice cream. Dairy Freeze on Main Street, Altavista.
Radio Shack and Crystal Bay Pools, Altavista, serving your area since 1989 for swimming pool installations, chemicals, liners, and more. PCM Industrial of Altavista offers mobile welding and repair services, fully equipped service trucks, and certified craftsmen, and quick response to satisfy your needs. Contact PCM Industrial at powerconstruction.com. PCM Industrial is a fully insured Class A licensed contractor, OSHA and MSHA compliant. PCM Industrial Services of Altavista wishes Coach Sharness and the Altavista Colonels football team good luck in another winning season.
Get on the winning team and come find one of a kind. Shoppers, did you know Altavista has several unique antique stores? Check out the great selection at Mad Biddy's, 105 Wood Lane Road, or stop by Vintage on Broad to see where the American pickers have been. Try the Main Street Trading Company, offering unique home accents, jewelry, and more. An invitation from the Altavista Office of Economic Development. More information online at altavistaontrack.net.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family. See your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
And now we return to the Subway pregame show. Speaking of Subway, two great locations in Altavista. Main Street, of course, and then inside the Walmart on the Clarion Road. We'll talk about the Subway dining options later on in the show. Let's talk about what head coach Mike Sharness had to say. Oscar, if you didn't hear the game last week, it was a 24-0 win for the Colonels against the Prince Edward Eagles. Dave and I were really complimentary of the Eagles' defensive line, their speed, their strength. Eagles offensively struggled a bit at times. It was sort of a carbon copy of what happened to the Colonels. Colonels were pretty solid on defense, not that great on offense. And what stood out to you there as far as what Coach Sharness had to say about the performance last week?
Well, certainly the penalties outgaining the yardage gained is certainly a big factor that he alluded to that they certainly have to clean up. Not to score at all offensively, and really to have three defensive scores, touchdowns, is pretty unusual for a high school football team.
It is, and I think it speaks to the athleticism of the Colonels, certainly. Lawrence Galliard grabbing two of those interceptions and taking them back, that was huge. Traquan Farmer picked up a fumble in the end zone on the kickoff, and 7 takeaways altogether, 4 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries. That's kind of the old school Colonels defense that we remember from a few years ago. Remember, Oscar, how the Colonels would score on defense as much as some teams scored on offense. But there's a however to that. Got to be able to move the football a little bit more when you have possession of it.
Well, and certainly if last week is any indication, and with the availability of game film now, social media, the way that films are moved around between the high schools, certainly you got to believe that Greensville County saw game film from last week and saw that Prince Edward packed up against the line of scrimmage, and you got to believe that they're going to try to do the same thing tonight.
Well, yeah, my final question there for Coach Sharness was when somebody sees that, do you think they're going to try and exploit those weaknesses? And he said, sure, I would. Any football coach worth their salt is going to do what other people have had success with. Not that you're going to get out of your base defense or anything, but you're certainly probably going to see teams apply a lot more pressure to the Colonels. And the Colonels can apply pressure too. Greensville County comes in at 1-1. They lost to Amelia at home last week, 35-14. They won against Weldon, North Carolina, 52-28, first week of the season. You and I discovered that that's not too far away. That's a rivalry game. What was it, 14 miles down the road,
It
I
was
think?
19.
Okay.
And not to mention that in that game against Weldon, a heck of a game from the rushing aspect for Greensville County. 485 yards on the ground, Kyle, on 46 carries. You average over 10 yards a carry, you're doing something.
Sure, absolutely, because you're going to have one or two plays where you get stopped in the backfield here or there. So that means they're offsetting those with the big runs of 20 and 30 and sometimes more yards. Certainly a capable team here for Greensville County that's going to have some new faces. We'll talk a little bit more about them when we return. We'll talk about Subway and, of course, a little bit more about the Altavista Colonels. It's the Subway pregame show. It's high school football on a Friday night. Another warm night, Oscar. We had a break from the heat last week, but it's back tonight. You and I, we're getting the worst of it up here in the press box. But, hey, we could be doing something else right now.
I just checked the temperature. It's 90 degrees still.
Is that all?
That's it. And we are facing due west here. And with the glass from the press boxes, there's a greenhouse effect science project today.
It's nice.
That's your science lesson. But it's probably 10 or 15 degrees warmer in this press box. We'll lose some weight tonight.
I know a few people who studied the sciences in college. I couldn't make it that far. I just had to study the sports and the radio and the basket weaving, that sort of stuff. But, hey, hopefully I got something out of it. Hopefully you're having some fun on the Subway pregame show. Thanks for tuning in. Kickoff between the Colonels and the Eagles coming in about 8 minutes. You're going to hear all the action live on 105.5 KD Country.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
Compassionate Care Choices, Autumn Care, 24-hour skilled nursing, inpatient, outpatient, physical, occupational, and speech therapies. Autumn Care invites you to tour their facility in 2016, receiving the bronze quality by the American Healthcare Association. 5-star rating by Centers for Medicare, Medicaid Services. Autumn Care, a member of Sabre Healthcare Group, serving Altavista and surrounding areas since 1989.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs, and they're priced right with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista, the next time you get ready to make a change. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from the press box at Greensville County High School. We're in Emporia, Virginia. If you're not familiar where we're at the intersection of Route 58 and I-95, basically. About an hour from the beach or so. Oscar, you want to head down there afterwards?
Yeah.
Well, you might be anyway, just not the closest available beach, but that's another story. Let's tell you about the folks that helped us get down the road here and help bring you all the Colonel football games on your radio, or if you're tuned in at kdcountry.com. People like First National Bank helping you bring home more bacon. Feller Chevrolet now offering a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. English's, your complete home center, now offering a complete line of Carhartt clothing for men. Napa Auto Parts of Altavista. Find your Napa know-how on Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador, Altavista's original Mexican restaurant. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels. The Moose Family Center. Visit the Altavista Moose Family Center to join and be a Moose. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between. The Altavista Office of Economic Development. We invite you to come find one of a kind. PCM Industrial Services. Now with mobile welding and repair service. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving families since 1905. Highview Motors GMC, from small to tall. Highview has it all. Autumn Care of Altavista, specializing in 24-hour skilled nursing care, physical, speech, and occupational therapy. And D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. Call Donnie at 841-1580. That's 841-1580. Oscar, it's a bit of a disjointed Subway pregame show here because it feels like we're ready to go. They did the national anthem early. It's almost like they're ready to start early. Greensville County is lined up and ready to kick off, and Altavista not quite ready, but now they'll break their pregame huddle and get ready.
Yeah, it's a 7 o'clock kickoff time, and it's 6:57, and the Colonels were, waiting to run through the spirit line led by the cheerleaders and the banner, and like you had said, Greensville County was lined up and ready to kick off. Colonels will receive, and we're about ready to get started.
It's number 13, Isaiah Seaborn, that will do the kicking. He's a sophomore. Colonels will be going left to right from our perspective. It's a bit of a low press box. The kick is short, scooped up on the 20-yard line. That's Jacob Adams, bumps into his own blocker, spun around. Man had his jersey, and he ran out of it. Now he lost the football. The football is on the turf, and I think Greensville County may have it. Waiting for an official signal. It is. It's Eagles football on the opening kickoff. Adams tried to run out of a couple tackles. He did so successfully, but could not avoid that final tackle that stripped him of the football, Mr. Briggs.
Jake had a seam, and I think his eyes might have gotten wide open. All he had to do was escape that one defender, and the sideline was his. He would have gone to the house, but a nice job by Greensville County getting his hands on the ball, stripping him, and they're in business. It's 1st and 10 for Greensville County at the Altavista 32-yard line.
Greensville in the home green jerseys, yellow pants. It's very reminiscent of a Green Bay Packers or a Nelson County type of look. Shotgun spread formation. 3 receivers to the right. That's the short side of the field. No yard markers out here. They do snap this ball from the 31-yard line. Option play goes to the left. Shaheem Pinnell snuffs it out in the backfield. Nice job by Pinnell to get off of that block out there on the edge, make the stop. It ends up being a 1-yard gain.
Well, it was a good stop by Shaheem. He was engaged with the blocker and was able to get down and trip up the running back. And we haven't mentioned it for Greensville County, but it all starts with quarterback Jaden Young, a 6'1", 165-pound junior. He's been the workhorse so far this year, especially against Weldon County. He piled up a ton of yards.
Jairese Arrington is the running back. He's in the backfield about 3 yards behind Young in a shotgun, sort of an offset pistol formation. Here's the snap from the 30-yard line. Same play going to the right. This ball's on the ground. It was an errant pitch, and Arrington was able to get it back. Mateo Malback was in pursuit, but he just got there a step late. Good news for the Colonels is, Oscar, this is going to end up being a loss of 5. We'll call it 3rd and 14 here on Greensville County's opening possession.
It won't show in any stats, but Josh McClure and Traquan Farmer had a jailbreak and forced that pitch prematurely out of Young's hands, and that's what forced the fumble. Nice job by those 2 linebackers getting in and forcing some action.
Greensville does huddle about 4 yards behind the ball and kind of offset again to the right, not directly behind the football like you would normally huddle. 10:28 left to play in the English is your complete home center, first quarter. Colonel showing some blitz up on the line of scrimmage. The snap is soft. The quarterback is under pressure, and he's in trouble. Sacked and thrown down at the 45. There were some flags that came out. Jaden Young really had nowhere to go, as it was big Tevin Pierman in there. It was Stephen Farmer in there, and it also looked like Aaron Close in there. Oscar.
And that was right at the line of scrimmage. It was called by the line judge out here on the sideline.
We got a boatload of shout-outs that we want to get to, but the action snuck up on us, so we'll get to those when we can. It would make it about, 4th and 20 it's going to look like. We'll see what ends up happening with the penalty. They have not moved the stick yet.
Looks like they've been talking to the Altavista players.
Yep.
Which indicates it would be against illegal procedure.
I would think they would decline this. The Colonels would, and bring up 4th down. They did. They declined it. It's going to be 4th and a bus ride, as UOB would say, and it looks like Greensville County ready to bring out some punting personnel to get this ball away with a kick.
Nice job defensively after the opening fumble on the kickoff to make Greensville County lost about 13 yards. So great job defensively, rebounding from that mistake.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on the defense there. They seem to rise to the occasion. Colonels are going to get the ball back. This ball will get punted away with 10:14 left to play in the first. Not a great kick. It's end over end, but it does take a good Greensville County roll. Going to roll inside the 25, down on the 24-yard line. What's the net on that, Oscar? Is that a negative? It didn't get to the first down marker.
No, it was right at a 19-yard, 20-yard total punt. But Jake, as that ball was in the air and it was obvious it wasn't going to get deep, Adams got away from that ball like it had the Zika virus. He was running as fast as he could.
We have our first Zika virus reference of the season.
Probably last.
I don't even know if I approve of that. 10:06 left to play in the English is your complete home center first quarter. Whistles are blowing. Referees aren't exactly ready to put this ball in play yet. Checking the jersey of an Altavista offensive lineman. That's Tevin Pierman. Yep.
It was up over his shoulders, shoulder pads, and leaving those exposed, and that's a no-no. But nice job by the official noticing that.
Senior Mateo Malback is the quarterback for the Altavista Colonels. He's in the shotgun right now on first down, and the flag comes out against the Colonels. Somebody moved up front, it looks like. Malback signaling that was on the home team. I think this is going to go against Altavista.
Yeah, it's a legal procedure.
More whistles, and the officials want to discuss things, and maybe now is a good time for some shout-outs. Oscar, I know our great fan Callie Morgan listening over there at Radford, Deja Berger listening up at JMU, Victoria Burgess probably tuned in. All the college kids are tuned in, but it's not just the college kids. A special shout-out to Sue Revis, a.k.a. Grandma Dory in Fancy Gap. That is Mike Revis's grandmother, or mother, pardon me. But Sue Revis having a great time in Fancy Gap, and with the miracle of the internet, she can tune in and hear the Colonels football games. Malback wants to throw deep on first down. Oh, it was in the hands of Adams. Couldn't quite reel it in. He might have been out of bounds even if he did pull it in. But a nice play and a good way to open up. Colonels showing some aggressiveness on first down.
I like the call, and I like the fact that Mateo did put a nice spin on the ball. Jake was out of bounds.
Colonels, Mike Sharnas mentioned that he wanted to work on those long pass plays to try and beat teams deep when they do crowd the line of scrimmage and play that man-to-man type of press coverage, and it looks like Greensville County set up in the same coverage right now. They're showing blitz 2 here on second down. Handoff play goes to Jonathan Montague. Had a hard time getting started, tried up the middle, then went outside. Wasn't a whole lot there. He ran into his own bodies, and then he ran into some green jerseys as well.
Well, as the Altavista line tried to pick up that blitz, that clogged that hole that Montague was headed to on the right side. He tried to bounce back to the left, but the pursuit was pretty good there from Greensville County.
3rd and 9 for the Altavista Colonels.
And then there was no penalty on that first play after the refs met, so
good point.
They are 3rd and 9.
Aaron Close in as a blocking back. There's 3 receivers. Montague is the running back to Malback's right. Hard snap count gets Greensville County to jump, so this will be 5 free yards for the Altavista Colonels. Makes it a little bit more manageable. I'm thinking 3rd and 4 here from the far hash mark, Oscar.
Yeah, you're 3rd and 9. You're way behind the chains. 3rd and 4, like you said, is much better. And we've seen a history of Altavista quarterbacks, whether it be Juan or Rick Adams or Johnny Wimbish or whoever. Now Mateo, that hard count's a great tool.
Excellent point. May try it again here on 3rd and 4. He does. Long snap count, hands it off to Jonathan Montague. Montague through the hole. Had a man draped around his legs. That was Trajan Smith. Montague dove for the first down marker.
He got it.
Looks like he's got enough. Yeah, ball resting on the 35-yard line. That was the yard to gain. So that's a chain mover there for Montague with 9:06 left to play in the first quarter. Still no score. First time the Colonels have ran offense. They did get the kickoff first, but they fumbled it away if you came in late.
Chancellor Mormon back tonight in the game. He's in the slot.
Saw Chancellor's dad before the game. He was in good spirits. Saw that they had a good ride down. Another flag on the play. Don't know if the rest of the Mormon family is here or listening, but we'll send a shout-out to them regardless. Let's see what this ends up being. Sideline warning on Greensville County. Wow. Coach Mario Walton kind of shaking his head, saying, well, that wasn't much of a warning. You could have given us a verbal warning first, and you can see there's some dialogue between the officials and the assistant coaches, and now Mario Walton, the head coach, tells everybody, get back.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Coach Walton, and
there's another flag that comes out, and that
might be an unsportsmanlike.
It might be 15 yards on Greensville County. The officials are meeting to discuss again. Couldn't really see anything, but we also can't hear from up here in the press box, so it's hard to know what was said. And a slow start, an interesting start for sure. I mentioned the Colonels fumble away the opening kickoff. Defense got a 3 and out.
He certainly didn't. The official that called the initial sideline warning absolutely did not like something that was said.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know what it is. We're pretty close, but he's out now. The umpire is out with Coach Mario Walton now, talking about what has gone on.
And Mario Walton certainly seems to be keeping his cool. I'll point out, Oscar, I went back and listened to last year's ball game. We post all the games courtesy of Feller Chevrolet. But last year we were very impressed with Mario Walton as a coach. He did some savvy things there, and hard to know what exactly happened over there on that sideline. Still waiting on an official call. They haven't moved the football up now.
No, they're going
now
to.
I think they're going to mark off the yards.
I just called unsportsmanlike.
And
so something was said. There was nothing that we saw that was really flagrant when Coach Walton came over and asked his staff and players to move back, and something was said. But
yeah, you couldn't see anything in the body language, but sometimes that doesn't really matter. And this will put the football. We're going to get ready to restart things on the 50-yard line. Colonels have a 1st and 10 situation after the unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
And one of the
non-foul,
but it was against one of the assistants, and he continues to talk to the other assistants.
You got to be careful, because if you get another one of those, it's an ejection.
That's right.
Play clock will start up again with 8:40 left to play in the first quarter. Maulback takes the chest-high snap, hands it off. This is Shaheem Pinnell darting in and out of traffic, ran out of an ankle tackle, still on his feet. He broke another tackle. He's across the 35, the 30, to the 20, the 10, stiff arm at the 5. He's cut down with a tackle there, and there is a flag that came out on the 30-yard line. Certainly some of this looks like it's going to be coming back. What an electric run there by Shaheem Pinnell, in and out of tackles. And there was some great blocking out there for him as well. But unfortunately, it looks like some of this is going to get erased.
Well, this official has thrown his flag on just about every play. He is his arm's going to be tired. He's going to need Tommy John surgery.
You don't want to have two of those, that's for sure. Okay, it is against the Colonels. It's a block in the back. It's still going to be a first down. The referee gives the signal there. It looks like it's going to bring the football back to around the 30-yard line, or maybe they're just going to step off the yardage from there, you think, Oscar?
If it was marked at the 30, they'll mark it back 10. It'll come back to the 40, and it was dead on the 30-yard line.
Still no score, 0-0. I'm Kyle Haney. He's Oscar Briggs. Thanks for joining us on a Friday night. There's some other good games out there. If you're bouncing around, I think you're probably going to hear some great football. Hopefully you'll stay with us for a little while. Looks like it's 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Again, not a whole lot of yard markers out here. There's no hash marks. There's no numbers, but we'll make do. We can use our imagination, right, Mr. Briggs? They put a man in motion. They hand it off to Chancellor Mormon. Mormon around the right side. He's got some room to run. Stiff arm at the 35-yard line and brought down there by number 1, Jaden Young. Nice, solid tackle and a good 5-yard pickup on first down.
I think, that play was slow developing. Greensville did a nice job of stringing that play out, but, Chancellor picked up 5. He looked like he shied away from contact a little bit, but, first, we'll take a 5-yard pickup on the first down.
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. Mormon practiced this week, but practice sometimes isn't the same as the game. Colonels will scrimmage here from the right hash mark, 2nd and 5. 7:40 left to play in the first, still no score. Jordan Spinner is the lone wide out here on the right side. There's 2 receivers to the wide side of the field. Here comes the shotgun snap, a handoff to Christian Gilbert. Our first look at Gilbert. He plows ahead forward for a 6-yard gain across the 30. That's a first down for the Altavista Colonels as they keep the chains moving.
Offensive line continues to push Greensville County back. Nice job by Stephen Farmer and that group.
Yeah, much better surge so far. I know it's here early. We've only played less than half of the first quarter, but the offensive line does appear to be operating with much more effectiveness than last week.
And it's always a good thing. If you can move the football on the ground and grind up yardage and grind up clock like the Colonels are doing, that bodes well.
Exactly right. Here comes the 1st and 10 snap. Maulback's going to keep it. Had a nice hole to run through. Darted to the right. Now he's off to the races. Gets outside again. Thigh pad tackle brings him down. He tried to scamper up like he didn't go down, but the knee hits around the 11-yard line. Maulback was close to really breaking free. As it is, it's a nice 17-yard pickup on first down.
Yeah, he went to the right, and he had one player to elude, but nice pursuit by Greensville County to catch him from behind.
Colonels get up and go in a no huddle very quick. Same play. Maulback starting to the left. Tries to spin back to the right. Hit hard. Got met by Kerry C. He's 228-pound senior lineman, and he hit Maulback hard, although Mateo did manage to pick up about 2 yards.
I think that you talked about that play went off quickly. It may have gone off too quickly because it looked like that whole left side of the offensive line missed their assignments.
2nd and 7. Colonels can get a first down around the 3-yard line. Got to believe they're thinking pay dirt here, 6 points rather than just a first down. Clock turns with 6:22 left to play. Wide receiver sweep again. They give it to Mormon. He cuts it up inside the alleyway, cuts back again. Spin move at the goal line. Is Mormon in? Yes, he is. Touchdown for the Altavista Colonels. It's Chancellor Mormon from 10 yards away in his return to action. The senior, number 5, in for 6 for Altavista.
That was that jet sweep, and he chose to take it inside as opposed to going outside. Nice move by Chancellor, and he was able to power through a couple of players and get into the end zone. Colonels lead 6-0, 6:15 remaining here in the first quarter.
Great way to start, great way to respond for Altavista after the fumble on the opening kickoff. Nick Boley on to try the extra point. He was perfect last week. Snap is rolling. Adams picks it up, and he wants to try the fire play and go for 2. Football is out, but Adams scoops it back up. So this extra point is no good. Colonels still score and lead 6-0, 6:15 left to play in the first quarter. Greensville County football when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
Introducing D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. A name you've grown to trust, Donnie Bryant is back with D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. As an American Standard dealer, D.L. Bryant Heating has the tools and the talent to handle all of your heating and cooling issues, large or small. Call 841-1580. That's 841-1580 for D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. Call 841-1580 for a name you can trust, Donnie Bryant and D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
The Colonels score on their opening offensive plays. They couldn't hold on to the football on the opening kickoff. Defense got them the football back. They marched down a 70-yard drive, I believe it was, Mr. Briggs, capped off by a 10-yard Chancellor Mormon run. We saw a little bit of everybody. A nice run from Shaheem Pinnell. A nice run from Christian Gilbert. Mateo Malback had the 16, 17-yard scamper, and it was a great way to establish that offensive line up front.
Yeah, very nice 78-yard drive, and all the yards gained were on the ground. Nice job again, like you said, by that offensive line. Real quick, looks like a shootout. Chatham 28, James River 21 in the first quarter.
What, they start at like 5 o'clock or something? Incredible. How many kickoffs did they run? Did they run back, Oscar? 6:15 left to play here as we get ready to get kicked off.
Navy Jones transferred somewhere.
He got an extra year of eligibility. Shout out to our good buddy Bob Alvis, who is listening. He'll pop in some scores from time to time, too. Here comes the kickoff from Nick Boley. He angles it to the left. It'll get fielded in the corner there by number 3, DeAndre Anderson. Anderson wants to go back to the middle. Not a great idea as Tevin Pierman runs him down. Anderson's still fighting, though, and Traquan Farmer comes in to help clean him up and finally get him on the ground. Good pursuit there by the Colonels, and they stayed in the lanes.
Yeah, and they did. That was a great point. I was watching specifically Tevin on that play to see he did stay in his lane. He was able to cut that play off. It's at the 10-yard line, Kyle. Nice job by the Colonels.
Swarming down there. Coach Sharnas has said that kickoff team is going to have to cover a little bit more this year than in years past. Not as many touchbacks with Nick Boley, but he can place the football. Greensville will start their second drive from the 10-yard line. First one ended up in a punt. Nice defensive stand, a 3-and-out for the Altavista Colonels. Farmer shows blitz from the defensive side. It's a shotgun spread, 2 receivers to each side. Soft snap goes back to the quarterback. He wants to sprint outside, not going to get there. That's Lawrence Galliard, number 7. Just sprung out of there like a cat, got him to the ground quickly. Nice defensive play there by the Colonels.
Boy, Lawrence certainly is beginning to mature, and Coach Sharna said that he looks like the light's going on, and he's really starting to understand, have better vision, have better understanding of the game, and really things starting to slow down for him, and he's able to really execute on both ends of the ball. But certainly from the defensive end, Lawrence is really starting to step up.
He can use that speed and athleticism. 3 wide receivers over here to the wide side now. This ball will get snapped from the 8-yard line. It was a loss of 2, so call it 2nd and 12. Greensville trails 6-0. Quarterback will go under center here. He puts a man in motion. Watch the wide receiver sweep. That's what they do. Off to the right side. Running back had to cut it back, and there was nothing there. That was Taekwon Odom. He got hit by, it looked like, Tevin Pierman, and then Traquan Farmer, and then Aaron Close all teaming up for the stop there, and a gain of 1.
Well, Mateo Malback really got on the outside and forced that play back on the inside. Nice job by him recognizing that play was designed to go outside and forced Greensville to go back inside.
And that's the life of some of those outside defenders, Oscar, whether it's an outside linebacker or a cornerback, a safety. sometimes you don't get credit for the tackle, but you make the play by turning a guy back into the pursuit.
Well, and let's face it, the last few years, when you talk about Malbec, they've been smart football players.
Sure. There is no drawback to the name Malbec. Here comes a blitz by Josh McClure on 3rd and 10. Snap gets back again. Passing play. Swung out in the flats. The pass is too high. It's incomplete. Lands harmlessly on the turf. That's going to be another 3 and out for the Colonels defense.
Well, it was a good thing that pass was overthrown, and it may be intentionally overthrown. Matt Aiken had shot the gap, and if that pass would have been on target, Matt would have had an easy walk into the end zone.
Looks like Greensville County going to punt it away again. Ball back will return deep along with Christian Gilbert. Mateo going to set up shop on the Greensville 40-yard line. Gilbert about 5 yards ahead. The punter is number 88, Jaquan Goodwin. Snap is low. He handles it okay, though, and gets off a better punt this time. It'll land on the 35 and bounce into Gilbert's hands. Gilbert starts right, now back to his left. He's got some room on the left sideline. Watch out for a block in the back there. No flags, and Gilbert goes down around the 25-yard line. Excellent starting field position, though, for the Colonels' offense. They didn't need any favors last drive, Oscar, and probably licking their chops right here with this great starting spot.
Yeah, you start the ball at the opponent's 25-yard line, and you're in business. And Christian did a nice job. He kind of feinted like he was going up the middle, dove left, and that really crossed up the Greensville pursuit.
Like what big number 73, Dylan Herring, is doing on that offensive line. He's the center right now. Appears to be moving people around nicely. It's 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line to the Colonels. Far hash mark. They're working left to right. McClure's in as a blocking back. They shift Mormon over to the right side of the field, and another flag comes out. We've seen a lot of flags fly, Oscar, before the play gets started. It's another illegal procedure on the Altavista Colonels.
An interesting call in that Greensville County had a late substitution. They only had 10 men on the field. Had a player run out about the time the flag flew. I thought there might have been an illegal substitution call, but what do I know?
First quarter brought to you by English's, your complete home center. Talk more about the Carhartt gear here in just a second. Hand off to Jonathan Montague, plows ahead over his own lineman. That was Tevin Pearman. Reaches the ball up to the original line of scrimmage as he goes down. So let's give him a 5-yard gain. 5.5, it looks like, based on where the stick is. 4:02 left to play in the English's, your complete home center, first quarter. Colonels lead 6-0. I'm Kyle. He's Oscar. Our sound engineers are Eleanor and Katie. And we're so glad that you've joined us on the 3rd week of the VHSL football season. I'm looking for another run here, OB. I don't know about you. Colonels seem to be set in their ways as far as that goes. They'll hand it off to Montague again. Stiff arm with the left hand, gets him free, takes a shot in the hip and keeps on going. Now gets driven down into the turf after what looks like a 9-yard pickup, maybe more. It looks maybe like 10 now when the ball finally gets spotted, and it is enough for another Colonel's first down.
And boy, he just continued. Greensville County defenders were just bouncing off him like a pinball. He was like a pinball. One would hit him, and he'd bounce him about 2 yards left. He just kept going.
Saw Johnny before the game. He was excited. He said the bus ride was a little long, but that's okay. We'll just play football anyway. Christian Gilbert in there now. Traquan Farmer's in as a blocking back. Mormon motions to the left again. He'll snap this ball from the 12-yard line. Illegal procedure again on the Altavista Colonels, it looks like. Another false start penalty on the Colonels. Not sure if it's an offensive lineman or a receiver or maybe both from time to time.
Well, Coach Sharness is out on the field. He wants an explanation.
He was about 5 yards out onto the field. Probably frustrated with his own guys more so than the officials.
I beg to differ on.
Well, that's what we have you here for. You don't have to be a yes man.
I think he was kind of barking at the official. He wants to understand.
Sure.
So it's just like an umpire in baseball. You got different officials have different points of emphasis, different strike zones. You want to correct whatever's going wrong.
There you go. Mormon in motion again. Gilbert is set up to Malbach's left. They hand it to him. He's going left. Hit hard really as he got started there. Great penetration by number 41, who, lo and behold, we don't have on the roster, Oscar. We'll find out who he is, but it was a nice tackle there.
It was.
And it was a loss of, we'll say, 1 for Christian Gilbert. They'll bring up 2nd and 16 for Altavista.
And looks like Greensville County's doing a good job. They're stacking up now, getting closer and closer to the line of scrimmage, stacking up in that box. Now would be a good opportunity to go over the top and open that thing up with a little bit with a passing play.
Certainly something to keep your eye on. Farmer's in there to tight end on the right side. Running play here. Malback's going to start right, trying to run out of a tackle. He does so, turns the corner at the 20, lowers the shoulder at the 19, hit hard. Only about a 1-yard pickup. We've got another flag here. The officials, as you said, the arms might be getting sore. Block at the back against the Colonels. This is going to set them back a few more yards here, Mr. Briggs. It's going to bring up second and real long. Oscar's got a towel up here in the press box to try and beat the heat, and he half-heartedly threw that. Just everybody else is throwing their flags. Why not, right?
Yeah, that's my thought process.
I don't think it's been one-sided. Obviously, Greensville County had a sideline warning and then an unsportsmanlike conduct earlier. And don't mistake any of this stuff for bad sportsmanship on the field. We haven't seen any of that, just a whole lot of penalties. Second, and let's try and count it up. 30? Does that look right, Mr. Briggs?
Let me call Amtrak and get a schedule.
Oh, this guy, he does it to me every time. 1:55 left to play in the first quarter. Second in a bus ride. How about that?
32.
Second in an Amtrak ride. Malback going to throw a screen play. Gilbert had it, and he was drilled. He bobbled it. He was probably going to recover it if he had room, but he did not have room. He was just popped hard by Isaiah Crutchfield.
That was a nice play by Crutchfield. He really unloaded, hit Gilbert hard, and it was a very clean hit.
Yep.
Ball hit off Gilbert's hands and was in the air, and Crutchfield unloaded on him. A great play.
Gilbert popped right back up, though. That's good to see. Colonel's looking over the sideline to get this third and long play. First quarter brought to you by English's, your complete home center on North Main Street in Altavista. Big shout-out to all that gang listening. Donnie and Brent saw Brent earlier this week. He was excited about not having to make the trip, excited that we were going to broadcast for him. Here comes the snap on third and long. Ball back to pass, had time initially, now he doesn't. Flushed out of the pocket, hit hard. Tried to spin out of a tackle and just could not do it. The Eagles are coming with some defensive pressure. Give Mario Walton and his crew, Oscar, nice credit for making an adjustment there, especially when their back was to the wall with the good Colonel's field position.
And Mateo Malback was not happy with the blocking, with the execution on that series. And he and Stephen Farmer were talking about that.
Malback's going to punt this ball away. He stands on the Altavista 44-yard line. The Colonel's first down marker is all the way down inside the 5. So that tells you how many yards the Colonel's lost. It really doesn't, but trust me on this one. They lost a bunch of yards on that series. Nice kick by Malback, though. Montague down there in a hurry to cover it. He needs to get to it before he goes in the end zone.
What a hustle play
on the 1 yard
Johnny
line.
Montague.
Wow.
You will not see a better hustle play.
What a great play there by Jonathan Montague. I knew that he had a bead on the football. He slowed down for a second.
They're going to call it a touchback, and that's an awful call.
It looked like Montague got that ball out of the end zone. Swatted at it with the right hand as he was diving for it. Hard to see from up here, not the best angle. We don't have the benefit of replay, etc.
And if the football broke the plane.
No, that's right, by rule. And the officials were there. Still got to give Johnny a lot of credit for getting down there. I could tell he had a beat on it. First and 10, Eagles from the 20-yard line after the touchback. Colonel's defense will dig in and lick their chops here. 56 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Eagles spread things out again from the shotgun formation. Trips receivers to the left. Quarterback runs that way. Now it's an option pitch. Galliard had his hands on him, but Farmer will clean it up after a 5-yard pickup, it looks like. The pitch was to number 15, Jairus Arrington. It is a 4.5 or 5-yard gain. Check that. More like 2 or 3.
Yeah, the original looked like they were going to give him about 5 yards, but they did mark it back and set the football down at about the 23-yard line. The ball nestles into the high grass here.
It is. It's Bermuda turf, but it's a little bit longer, Oscar. I went out there and threw the ball around some with some of the Altavista coaching staff. No surprise, nobody was recruiting me to play quarterback, but it's still a fun time, and it is a good turf out there. It's just a little bit long. Another option play. Quarterback threw it over the top to Arrington. Pennell hit him hard and jarred that football loose, but it went straight down out of bounds. That was Arrington again on the carry, and he's a bit slow to get up. Pennell really rocked him hard with a shoulder/helmet tackle.
And you watch him. He's shaking his head, and he stepped back a little bit. That when he got up, he got rocked on that play. He still he thinks he's in the Bahamas, folks.
He's going to sit down on the bench, and the coaches are talking to him. They're doing the right thing here by keeping Jairese Arrington on the bench for just a second. It wasn't enough for a first down pickup. It was about a 10-yard gain. Pinnell was giving ground from the cornerback spot and then turned the corner and really laid the wood into the ball carrier, Jairese Arrington. Pinnell's had a couple nice plays here early.
Well, and the corners have got to get up and do a little bit better job of containment. Gallagher did a good job of forcing the play, the quarterback to pitch, but there was nobody there.
Overload to the left. They're going to give it to the fullback. Fumble. Ball is out. Everybody pawing at it. No way to tell who got it back. Flag came out. I'm not sure. Flags. I can tell you what the first one is, Oscar. Greensville County didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. They only had 6 men on the line. They took a receiver and put him in the backfield at fullback, but nobody else stepped up. And let's wait for the official word here. 36.7 seconds left to play in the first quarter. 6-0. Altavista leads. They fumbled the opening kickoff away. When they finally got the football on offense, they scored on their opening drive. They did have to punt it away on their most recent drive.
This is unofficial, but I've started putting tick marks down, and that looks like that's the 9th penalty, and we've got 36 seconds left here in the first quarter.
I'm so glad that you're keeping that because we may run up a few. We may be the last game to end tonight because of all the penalties, because of the slow start. 1st and 15 now. The penalty was against Greensville County. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Colonel's leading 6-0, 20 seconds left. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I formation, offset to the right. Hard snap count. It's a tailback lead play over there to the right. Cut back. Made one tackler miss. Does not make the second and third tacklers miss. That is Mateo Malback coming from the safety spot. Almost just a double-leg takedown like you'd see in wrestling, and it's a loss of 2 on the second down play. And that will do it for the first quarter, Mr. Briggs. Colonels, an interesting start, but they start on the right foot. They lead 6-0. Second quarter on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
I'm Greg Walker with an exciting new offer from Feller Chevrolet. Purchase any new or used vehicle of Feller's and receive a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and a 3-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Again, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a 3-day money-back guarantee. At Feller Chevrolet, we stand behind what we sell, and we save you money. Come see us. You'll be glad you did.
A short drive will save you money. Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Second quarter about to get underway here from Greensville County High School. We're in Emporia, Virginia. I'm Kyle. He's OB, and it's the place to be, 105.5 KD Country. Interesting first quarter, Oscar. It's dominated by a lot of penalties, some sloppy play, but also some exciting things. Colonels do lead 6-0.
Yeah, it looks like an opening after the kickoff, the fumble by Jake Adams on the kickoff. Colonels did a nice job of keeping Greensville from getting the first down, got the ball back, and methodically marched downfield on a 78-yard drive, culminated with that Chancellor Mormon 10-yard touchdown run. And it looked like the Colonels were off and running, and then the penalties started to come into play on both sides. But like you said, it was an interesting first quarter. And
last year's game, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Last year's game, Greensville County opened up with a 12-0 lead, and then it was all Colonels from there. Not saying we're going to see a reversal of that this year, just a point of order there.
Second, about 16.
I formation again for
First play
Greensville
of the
County.
second quarter.
Flags come out again. Don't count that as 2 flags, even though multiple came out. Malback got in there and helped make the stop with Traquan Farmer and Stephen Farmer. Malback a little bit slow to get up there, Mr. Briggs. Might have got his shoulder jammed or something. Let's see who this flag is against. If play stands, it's about a 5-yard gain on the first or the second down run. And the penalty is against Greensville County. They're going to step off some yards and repeat second down. So now it looks like 2nd and 20 for Greensville with 11:53 left to play in the first half.
Coach Mario Walton down right in the vicinity of the line judge. He was the one that gave the sideline warning to the assistant earlier, and then the 15-yard penalty.
Clock turns again. 11:50 left to play here in the Englishes, your complete home center, second quarter. I formation again. Pardon me. Just one lone setback. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left. Colonel showing blitz again from the linebacker spots. Long snap count for Greensville County. Handoff play, and they got some room up the middle. charging ahead. The ball carrier is met at the original line of scrimmage over there by the left hash mark and thrown down to the turf. That is number 41, the mystery man.
Yeah, that was
I'm going to get the PA guy to tell me who number 41 is.
Yeah, he can do it. And then that was a nice gain. Colonels were trying to stun on that play and really Greensville did a nice job of picking up, and the middle was wide open. Picked up 10.
Number 41 is Jaquan Simmons. There was a jersey change. Thank you so much for that. That's our good friend Jim Wood, who's doing the PA work here at Greensville County. This has been a fun trip. We'll talk about that at the halftime show. Flags come out again, though. And no, it's not a joke. There's a flag here before the third down play can get started. We could just get our sound engineers to just have a button that they press, and they just play me or you saying, here's a flag on the play. This is against Altavista. 5 yards will get walked off against the Colonels. So that'll make it 3rd and 5 for Greensville County.
That was offside.
Somebody must have lined up offside because the play never got started. Under center again goes the quarterback for Greensville County. That's Jaden Young. He'll turn around and hand it off to Simmons again. Simmons hit hard. Kevin Pierman and Traquan Farmer appeared to have a hold of him. Simmons bulldozed his way ahead for a few yards. He's still going to be at least a yard or two short of the necessary mark for a first down.
I'd go for it.
Wouldn't be the worst call in the world.
They're at the 42. Somebody from Altavista down on the field, Kyle.
Looks like possibly Josh McClure. Don't want to speculate just yet, though. Let's take an injury timeout here on the broadcast. Colonels lead 6-0, 10:27 left to play in the second quarter. 4th down for Greensville County when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
When you need an important business loan, you want to deal with a decision maker who will respond quickly. I'm Penny Wallace with local First National Bank at our airport branch. I'm focused on business customers, and we have a streamlined process to help you with any loan need. I can offer various business loans for real estate, new equipment, and credit lines. So for better business banking, think of us first. That's local First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, they're listening in Fancy Gap, Oscar. They're listening in Harrisonburg. They're listening on downtown in Main Street, downtown Altavista. They're listening in Lynchburg. My good buddy Earl, the Sugar Daddy, listening at Sugar Daddy's Jewelry Pawn. What you got? You got some people tuned in, right?
Yeah, I think they're listening in.
One or two?
Yeah. Normally Surfside, but I think they're in North Myrtle this afternoon. So,
party time up there in North Myrtle?
I saw an acknowledgement from Eddie Barnard in Texas. He may be listening tonight. He's a faithful listener.
Some more faithful listeners that check in with us on Facebook. I think about people like Austin Lunsford, who likes to tune in, and the list is endless, and we can get your name on there as well. It was Josh McClure injured on the play. Colonels are going to help him up here, bringing out some Colonel players to help him up. McClure, a little bit slow to get off, favoring the left leg. We're not going to speculate.
And they were down in the ankle area.
Yeah.
But
don't know if the McClure. Well, I saw Josh's dad when I was
here.
walking in. Jacob might be tuned in somewhere around the world via kdcountry.com or with the TuneIn app. It's 4th and 2. To me, it looks like Greensville County lining up to go for it. You mentioned that before the break. I don't think it's a bad idea.
No.
They are in their own field territory here. If they don't get it, they're going to be giving the Colonels the football with great field position.
Well, the Colonels had the ball last possession at the 25-yard line and went backwards by about 20 yards.
Great point. Officials will put the ball back in play. You got 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Under center is Young. Goes with the long snap count, tries to draw out the Vista offside. They don't jump. Handoff play here going to Simmons again, I think he got enough. He's across the 40-yard line, falls down over the first down marker. Nice play there by Greensville County, Oscar. And that's what we were talking about last year, complimenting head coach Mario Walton. Try the hard snap count. If it doesn't work, just right up the gut or off tackle for a quick hitter type play.
Well, initial contact was made. It looked like he was going to be stopped, but credit Simmons for the extra effort.
Yeah, Jaquan Simmons is normally number 53. He's wearing number 41, and I think that's because he's playing running back, and 53 would not be an eligible pass receiver number, so hence the change, at least that's what I'm thinking.
He's listed as a linebacker and a defensive back.
225. Look at this throw out here in the middle, and it's complete on the right number at the 30-yard line. That is number 7, Taekwon Odom, on the long hook up there. That is a 35-yard pass and catch from Jaden Young to Taekwon Odom. How about the right arm of Jaden Young? We hadn't really seen him cut it loose, but that was a deep ball there, and it looked pretty doggone good.
One-on-one coverage with Jake Adams. Jake was maybe a half step behind him. It wasn't awful coverage. Just a great throw and a great catch.
Eagles are in business here. 1st and 10, deep in Altavista territory on the 20-yard line. Middle of the field. Good recovery there by Jacob Adams to run him down and make the tackle. Young will get under center again. Looks over the defense, looks right, looks left, does the same. Long snap count again, handoff play to Simmons. Simmons going left. It's just a zone blocking play. There's just sort of a mass of bodies over there. They're not pulling a lineman. He does pick up 3.5 or 4 yards on the first down run.
Well, he's 5'9", 225. So Simmons is a bowling ball, and he runs with power. And it's easy to see why they've got him in that position.
Yeah, not a lot of moves, not a lot of fancy stuff. He just throws that thing into 2nd or 3rd gear, gets it going, and if he gets free, I imagine he's got a 4th or 5th gear too.
He may not.
Maybe not.
He may have 3 gears, and that may be enough.
Handoff play again, going right up the middle. He made one move, bounced off a would-be tackler, then swarmed on and tossed to the ground. A little bit of rough stuff away from the football, but nothing after the whistle, and everybody unpiles. Big mass of body over there between the left hash mark and left numbers. It'll bring up 3rd and call it 3 for Greensville County.
Matt Aiken in. Adams and Traquan Farmer come out. Of course, those of you that are faithful Colonel fans and listeners know that Coach Revis will run those defenders in and out depending on exactly what play he called and what the situation is.
Likes to mix and match, use different combinations. It's a 6-0 Altavista lead. Greensville County 0 for 4 on 3rd downs tonight, but they did pick up a 4th down conversion. Simmons is the setback again. Quarterback is Jaden Young. He looks right, turns, fakes it to Simmons, going to run a bootleg play. Not going to get out of the grasp of Lawrence Galliard. Nice high tackle up around the shoulder pads by number 7, Lawrence Galliard. That's a loss of 1, and it'll bring up 4th and 5.
And you got to believe that they're in territory where they'll go for it. Young's looking to Mario Walton to see what the play call is. And, you've got a term, a nickname for Lawrence in basketball, and I think it's appropriate for football as well.
I think the Dragon is unleashed here again tonight. Nice solo tackle to prevent what probably would have been a first down pickup. 4th and 15. Timeout on the field. The official is going to stop play. It's a Greensville County timeout. We'll take it with them. They've got 4th down when you come back. Colonels lead 6-0, 7:17 left to play in the half on 105.5 KD Country.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
4th and 5 coming up for the Greensville Eagles. They picked up 1 4th down on this drive already. Oscar, this one's a little bit further. I wonder if they'll give it to Simmons again and say, hey, big boy, go to work, or if they'll draw up a little something more exotic.
I'd look for him to get Young out on the edge where he has the option to either tuck it and run or that little flip pass that he's been able to do.
7:17 left to play in the half. Colonels do lead 6-0.
I think this is a big play for the Colonels.
Sure is. Greensville County needs to get to the Altavista 20-yard line. Here comes the snap. Shotgun formation. Whistles blow before the play can get started. You've got illegal procedure. Both teams have racked up a ton of those false start penalties. This will make it 4th and 10 and perhaps changing Mario Walton's play call.
That's one of the first ones that I've actually seen, and the wide receiver, it was Robert Mullins, the 4th, was out on the edge, and he kind of leaned. So that certainly was a correct call. But
I love that name. Bob Mullins the fourth. I mean, that is my new favorite. BM4. BM4.
That's right.
Forget RG3. We got BM4. 4th and 10 coming up for Greensville County. They're going to snap this ball from the middle of the field. They're moving left to right in this second quarter. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Colonels look like they're in man-to-man coverage. Passing play here for Young. Wants to throw over the middle. Right-handed toss. Picked off by Mateo Malbeck. Malbeck has it on the 10. Races to the 20. Now the 25. Turns the corner. Stayed in bounds for an extra 5 yards. And another piece of yellow laundry comes out of the hands. There's another penalty. Probably a block in the back or a hold on the interception return. That's the Colonels' 3rd straight ball game with a pick, Oscar. And that, I feel sure, is going to stand, but it's going to set them back a few yards on the block in the back.
Well, I like the call for a couple reasons. I like the call from Greensville.
Sure.
You throw the ball towards almost to the end zone, and, if it is picked off, then so what? It's no different than a punt.
Yep. No, that's a quality decision there by Mario Walton and his coaching staff. Nice coverage by the Altavista Colonels. I think that Mike Revis and his crew sensed that was going to be somewhat of the play call. There was good coverage there. Mateo Malbeck at safety, just kind of playing that cloud coverage, they call it, where he was just hanging around waiting for somebody to appear in his area. And got it.
No, and I've said this several times over the last few years in that situation. I like being on 4th down, depending on where you are, knocking that ball down instead of trying to run the ball back, just from a field position perspective.
Handoff play here. Oh, Montague might be free. He made the first tackler miss, made the second one miss. He's got the first down and more across the 25, slung down around the 30-yard line. Jonathan Montague with nice hard running. The initial hole was there, and Johnny did a lot of the rest. Nice job by number 2, Jonathan Montague.
Well, we talked about it in the first game that Johnny's not going to run away from a lot of people, and he showed it there. But he also showed that power that we know Johnny has. He had somebody in full contact with him until he got 10 yards deep into the secondary.
He's out for a breather. New running back in there is going to be Shaheem Pennell. There's a flag on the play here before the play can get started. It's going to be a quarterback keeper for Mateo Malbeck. I'm guessing this is going against Altavista for illegal procedure. You get into different areas, Oscar, different crews call certain things. They are certainly keeping a close eye on both of these teams before the ball is snapped.
They're calling that offsides on Altavista. And the wide receiver and both were check with the line judge. Am I on my own sides? And in high school, they will let them know, you are, no, you're not.
Oh, at all levels of football, really.
And, they checked. And that's Chancellor Mormon and Matt Aiken both are livid.
A little frustrating. Clock will start up again. 6:15 left to play in the half. Colonels lead 6-0. Boy, how big would a score before halftime be for Altavista? Greensville showing blitz. Malbeck going to keep it. Started up the middle, now outside to the right. Man around draped around his jersey, threw him backwards, but he got restarted. He actually got it back to the line of scrimmage somehow.
Houdini Malbeck, I don't know how he got back to the line of scrimmage. He was trapped about 7 or 8 yards deep and continued to drive his feet, continued to spin, and was able to get away from the Greensville. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds.
2nd and 16 now. Yeah, they say he ended up losing a yard, but you're right. He could have lost more like 5 or 6 yards. 6 minutes even left to play in the half. Colonels lead 6-0. 2nd and 16. Malbeck studies the defense for a moment. Now he's ready. Staggered stance. Right foot is in front of the left. Wants to throw. Slant play complete to Jacob Adams. Adams shook off the tackler. He's across the 50, the 40. Nobody is going to come close to Jacob Adams. Touchdown for the Altavista Colonels. That is a 74-yard pass and catch to Jacob Adams from the right-handed pass of Mateo Malbeck. It was just a simple slant route. It was man-to-man coverage. There were no safeties. So, Oscar, once that cornerback didn't make the tackle, Adams was gone, and he's got electric speed.
Boy, he really does, and he's got strength, too, and that's what allowed him to break away. Nice job defensively by the corner in Greensville County. He was step for step with Adams, and Adams caught the ball. He was in contact, but he just ran through the tackle, and once he got into the secondary open, there was nobody was going to catch him.
Great play there. First passing touchdown of the evening. Malbeck to Adams. Adams will hold for the extra point. This snap is better. Boley gets the right foot on it, and it is through. Colonels lead 13-0. I said a score before halftime would be great, Oscar. I didn't know it was going to come like 4 seconds after that. 5:48 left to play in the half. Greensville football when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
You're listening to Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country, WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg.
Hello, this is Jerry Miley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, the temperature wasn't exactly ideal when we started, Oscar, but it feels pretty good now, and I have a feeling that it is pretty good on the Colonel's sideline right now after that long 74-yard pass and catch. Mateo Malbeck to Jacob Adams. The defense got it back there. The interception by Malbeck kind of keyed things there. It was a nice defensive stand as Greensville got it deep into Altavista territory. So far, so good for the Colonels. Not playing perfect, but they do have a 13-0 lead.
Boy, and, we talk about it in golf. You may par a hole, and it may be ugly, but there are no pictures on the scorecard, and there are no pictures here. As the Colonels lead 13-0 here in the second quarter, leading with 5:48 remaining here in this first half.
The temperature really has dropped. We got to see a nice sunset off in the distance. The band here from Greensville sounds fabulous. I mean, the drum line is as big as most schools' bands, and same thing with the flag corps. It's a nice operation here at Greensville. We'll talk about that more at halftime. Boley's kick is going to land on the 20-yard line and take a dead left out of bounds. This will be a penalty. Colonels look like they were in good shape to get down there and cover it, but this will give Greensville County the football on the 35-yard line. Go ahead.
No, sorry to interrupt. Just to elaborate on the band situation, I counted about 60 strong in the band.
From a 2A school.
From a 2A school. And a very, very good drum corps. They've been a blast to listen to. The drum line's been a blast to listen to and watch.
We got out of the car, and they were already practicing and getting warmed up.
It was 5:30.
It was, yeah. Maybe that was just a performance. Maybe it just started then.
I don't know. It was fun, though.
It was, and I'm sure they're going to put on a great halftime show as well.
And the cheerleaders, they haven't stopped.
No.
They have been steady motion, routine after routine after routine.
We're all up here talking about the heat, the humidity. They don't care. Guys on the field are playing hard, too. Greensville County football from their own 35-yard line. They've got 5:48 in the half left to operate. Option play to the right. Pitch goes to Jaden Arrington. He's going to get past some defenders from the Colonels all the way to the 35, now the 45. Thrown down there around the first down marker.
Boy, Shaheem Pennell.
Therese Arrington, pardon me. Go ahead.
Shaheem Pennell and Stephen Farmer. Another nice job by Lawrence Galliard forcing the pitch, and looked like Shaheem and Stephen had him pinned in, and he just made a great cut to get back in and pick up that first down.
Arrington was the one that got hit hard by Shaheem Pennell earlier, so good to see him back in the game and operating well. Saw a steady dose of the bigger running back, Jaquan Simmons from Greensville County. Here comes the 1st and 10 play. Now it's just an option play to the left. The ball's on the ground. Football is loose on the ground. It's still loose on the ground. Colonels have it. Matt Aiken has it. Then he lost it. Picked it up again. He threw a tackler off of him. He's going to try and go to the house. He does have room. Making guys miss. Angling to his left. Headed for the pylon. Touchdown. And no, he's short. He got stopped short. Did he get in? Short. Oh, it's a tough angle to see here. J.D. Young, the quarterback, managed to get him down around the 1 or 2 yard line. Matt Aiken with a crafty return. I don't think he had the football secured at first, but then he picked it up and he was off to the races.
Boy, and it was Christian Gilbert out on the corner, Kyle, that forced that pitch prematurely from Young and allowed Aiken to get to the ball, pick it up. Arrington had dove for it, and it's eluded his grasp. Nice job by Aiken. Big play for the Colonels as they're down inside the 5 yard line.
Colonels are knocking on the door here from the 2 yard line, we'll call it. Ballback is in there, and he's got the offense ready to roll. Here comes the shotgun snap. He's going to keep it. Headed off right tackle, virtually untouched for a touchdown. Ballback has got an interception. He's thrown a touchdown, and now he has run a touchdown. Colonels up the lead to 19-0. Extra point on the way. Ooh, the defense started it again, Oscar. This Colonels defense really starting to make a name for themselves 3 games into the season here.
Boy, we talked about it on the ride up. You can almost call it Beamer ball after the last 2 ball games.
They have forced 2 takeaways tonight, the Malback interception and then the fumble there from Aiken. Am I leaving one out? Was there another fumble recovery? Oscar's thinking that's never good. I see the hamster spinning around there. It was 7 takeaways last week. Here comes the snap on the extra point. Boley's kick is high and true. It's a 20-0 Altavista Colonels lead. We've still got 4:58 left to play in the English's second quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
English is
so much more.
English is
More than a hardware store.
English is.
My friends may call me the perfectionist, but at English's Building Supply, my neighborhood Davis paint dealer, they greet me by name. You see, I like to get things done exactly right, especially when it comes to my many painting projects. So I'm at English's Building Supply a lot, whether it's mixing the perfect Davis paint for my project or offering great incentives. They do business just the way I like it. Perfectly. English's on North Main Street, Altavista.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels take advantage of a fumble recovery and nice return by Matt Aiken. Get it down to the 2-yard line. Mateo Malback and the O-line take care of the rest. Colonels lead 20-0.
I had a brief conversation with Mary Aiken, who's Matt's mom, before the game. Dr. Aiken and Mary were down there. Always good to see them.
Always good to see a good Friday night high school football game. Colonel's getting the better of it right now. I don't think Greensville County's out of this just yet, but boy, the Colonels, a blink of an eye ago, Oscar, they only led 6-0. The long passing play, 74-yard pass completion for a touchdown from Malback to Adams. And then 2 plays later, Colonel's defense picks up a fumble. 1 play after that, a touchdown. So it really, the snowball effect has happened very quickly here.
It's kind of the scoring we got used to a couple of years ago, the lightning scores.
Boley's going to kick off. This time he'll keep it in the middle of the field. Pounds down to the 10-yard line, fielded by DeAndre Anderson. Anderson up the middle, starts left, hit hard by Tevin Pierman. And then here comes the rest of the cavalry to follow him up. Traquan Farmer and Lawrence Galliard in there. Good kick coverage by the Altavista Colonels. Decent starting field position, though. Anderson got Greensville County to the 22-yard line.
Well, Pierman has had a heck of a first half. We have called him numerous times on special teams. He made the big stop on the kickoff at the 10-yard line. And defensively, he's had a very, very, very good game.
He's 195. He's an offensive and defensive lineman, but he has some speed when he gets out there in open space. Tevin Pierman can really run. Slated at the nose guard spot right now.
And that's small for a nose guard.
Oh, yeah, even at the 1A, 2A level, that's a bit undersized for nose guard. He makes up with it with that speed. Handoff play on first down. But what? Another penalty. What are we up to now? I know your record is unofficial. Pardon me. Greensville County got a timeout before the penalty. Let's take the timeout with 4:50 left to play in the half. It's a 20-0 Altavista Colonel lead on 105.5 KD Country.
Napa know-how. This month at Napa, professional-grade Carlisle tools are on sale for up to 50% off. They're so well made, they may be the last tools you ever buy. Why isn't everything else made this well? Because then you'd have nothing left to fix with those new Carlisle tools. Now up to 50% off. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Some exclusions apply. Offer expires 9/30/16.
Brought to you by Napa of Altavista, proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
54 years of award-winning high school sports coverage. As Dave pointed out, we haven't won the award all 54 years, but 4 in a row now from the Virginia Association of Broadcasters. I'm not sure it's for performances like this, but we're getting there. It's early in the season for us.
We're in third game form.
It's only game 2 for you. Give yourself some credit. Greensville County took a timeout before the flags could fly. Head coach Mario Walton, I think, knew that he didn't have all the personnel out there that the Eagles needed. So they'll get started again. Their own 22-yard line. It's more like the 24-yard line here for Greensville. 4:50 left to play in the half. Young is under center, looks left, looks right. He'll hand it off to Arrington now. Arrington hit hard by number 55. That's Ethan Young. Young was able to ride him to the turf. Decent pickup on first down, though.
Important to note here, the Colonels still have all 3 timeouts. That could play a factor here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see Coach Mike Sharnes use some of those timeouts to get the football back with some time, and the flags fly again. We were wondering when we might see another one. They come out now. Let's see what is another sideline warning.
On Altavista.
On Altavista. Interesting. Saw the sideline warning very early against Greensville County.
He just pointed at Coach Sharnes' foot. He's clearly a foot outside the box.
You can see that from over here. The Colonel's sideline is across the field, by the way. We're on the Greensville County side. Apparently Oscar's vision's getting better. I mean, sometimes that happens. You get change the corrective lenses there or something.
Yep.
Here comes the I formation.
The Dragon.
Hand it off to Arrington, and the Dragon is there. Gosh, he was in the backfield in a hurry. That's a loss of 2 or 3. Ethan Young was behind him. So was big Melton Caleb, it looked like, behind him for the Altavista Colonels. 3rd and 8, let's say, Mr. Briggs. 3rd and 8 here with 3:50 left to play in the first half. Last points the Colonels gave up. You got to go back to quarter 4 of the Central Lunenburg game.
That's a great stat.
Well, we'll try and keep an eye on it. It's 6 quarters of shutout ball right now, or 5 and some change, I guess you could say. This quarter's not over with yet. Shotgun formation. Snap gets back. Right-handed pass is a little low, and a flag flies out after the pass. Wonder if it's a hold on one of the offensive line. They threw it in that area.
It certainly was in that area, and history will tell us that that's what that call is going to be. But we'll get it here just a minute from the umpire.
20-0 Altavista Colonels lead. It is a hold on Greensville County. I have to imagine that they are going to decline this, Altavista that is. We'll bring up 4th down. We'll say 4th and 8. Greensville County's going to have to punt it away. Colonel's defense continues to be good on 3rd down, Oscar. Greensville is 0 for 6 on 3rd down tonight. They did pick up the 1 4th down conversion, but none on 3rd down. Punting situation, they will trot out Jaquan Goodwin again back deep to boot it away.
And Goodwin hasn't gotten off a great punt yet.
Snap is much better. Mishandled it, though, and this kick is low. It did get by the Colonel's rush. Gilbert's going to field it over the shoulder on one bounce. Makes the first tackler miss. He's across the 50, across the 40 now into Greensville territory, down at the 35-yard line, due to a gang tackle from Greensville. Colonels will start there, 35-yard line with 3:13 left to play in the half, the full complement of timeouts. So I have to imagine the Colonels are going to be expecting some points here, Mr. Briggs.
Yeah, that punt actually went under the Altavista player who was trying to block it. It was a low end-over-end kick. Gilbert picked it up on about the 40-yard line, and he was able to pick up about 20 to 25 yards on the return. Had a Greensville player bearing down on him. He made one quick move, and he was in the open.
Gilbert's in there as the running back. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Colonels hand it to him. They do. He's going off right tackle, spun around, running out of a one-handed tackle, then thrown down just shy of the line of scrimmage. Never really got going full speed. Number 64, Camery Sykes in there on the tackle for Greensville County. Colonels lead 20-0. We're just under 3 minutes to play in the English's Your Complete Home Center second quarter.
2nd and 12 and 2:45, like you said, remaining.
Tight end to the left for the Altavista Colonels. They'll motion a receiver across. They fake it to Jamellen Jones. Malbeck wants to throw. Soft touch pass over the middle. They were looking for Traquan Farmer on the tight end dump, tight end release kind of route, and Farmer and Malbeck not on the same page.
Well, I like the play call. Execution just Traquan got caught up with the linebacker and couldn't get free. He was open. But, again, like you said, Malbeck and Traquan couldn't just quite get on the same pace.
3rd and 11 for the Colonels. Need to get down to the Greensville County 24-yard line.
And you're in 2-down territory for sure.
We've seen Nick Boley bang in some long field goals this year, but I probably agree with you as far as your point goes. Passing play again. Malbeck. Slant route to Adams. Adams got some hands on it but couldn't pull it in. Bounced up high off his shoulder pads. It looked like he had a chance to run it down on the carom, but couldn't get it before it hit the turf, and it brings up 4th and 12 now for Altavista.
I think DeAndre Anderson was in. He might have gotten a hand on it. 2:30 remaining, Kyle. You're at the 35-yard line. All 3 timeouts remaining.
Colonels working right to left in the road, white jerseys, orange pants. They did bring a good cheering section with them on the road, about a 2.5-hour drive, maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes. Here comes the fourth down play for the Altavista Colonels. Ballback wants to pass again. It's a pump and go. Looking down the far sideline for Adams again. Adams rises up, and I think he has it. It is complete down there on the 10-yard line. Jacob Adams leaping to the sky and ripping the football away from Taekwon Odom, the defender.
Boy, Taekwon Odom had great position, was in front of the ball, went up for it. Jake just went up higher, and he did, and took it away from him. What a great athletic play by Jake Adams.
What a way to pick up a fourth down conversion. It was a pump fake, and then Adams ran down the far sideline. Malback did nice to hang it up high and let Adams use the size and leaping ability. 2:15 left to play here in the half. Colonels still with all three timeouts, a 20-0 lead to boot. They want to add to it. They'll motion Mormon across from right to left. Here comes another passing play. Malback rolling to his left, looking in the end zone. Fires! He's got Traquan Farmer complete for a touchdown. Malback to Farmer. What a well-designed play. They missed Farmer earlier, but now they got him for 6 on the passing play. It's an 11-yard Malback pass touchdown, his second of the night.
Wow, that was well-designed because Traquan was wide open.
Awesome to see Traquan Farmer get in the end zone. He scored a rushing touchdown in that first playoff game last year against Rappahannock. They have apparently, though, Oscar, perhaps thrown another flag and wiped this play off the board. Altavista is going to line up again virtually from the same spot. They'll back them up 5 yards. Take the touchdown off the board. Oh, gosh.
I missed the call because I didn't see the flag on the play. I guess I should have known there was one there.
I suppose it was a holding. A little bit embarrassing for us, and unfortunately, you take a Traquan Farmer touchdown off of there, too. Got to feel for him a little bit. Coach Sharness is going to burn a timeout, perhaps to figure out what's going on. Altavista, they lead 20-0, 2 minutes left to play in the half. You'll hear the rest of the half when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week. Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador, the happiest place in town, thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, we thought the Altavista Colonels had another passing touchdown, but there was a penalty to negate that. Oscar, 18 penalties by your count?
18 is the unofficial count at this point.
My good friend Jason Brown tuned in. He wanted to shout out. The man holds many records. He sometimes says break a record. 18 penalties in a half might be a record. We're going to research that. Let's get Bob Alvis on that.
Yeah, again, I mentioned it earlier that this officiating crew, a couple of them are going to need Tommy John surgery when it's all said and done.
They're throwing a lot of flags. Got some good arms out there, though. Malback wants to pass again. Dumps it off to Aaron Close. Close could not pull it in. He got a fingertip on it, but the pass was just a little bit high. That'll make it 2nd and 15 now for the Colonels. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. The first down marker resting on about the 3-yard line.
1:56. Time really not an issue here. 2 timeouts remaining for the Colonels.
Yeah, the downs are probably going to get you before the time does.
And they are in Nick Boley territory.
Nick Boley banged in a 40-yard field goal last week, so this is certainly within his range here. Unless the Colonels lost some yards, of course. Here comes 2nd and 15 snap. Malback wants to pass again. Pass a little bit off target and to the right. He was looking on the far sideline for the Dragon, Lawrence Galliard. That runs out of bounds harmlessly into the Altavista cheerleading section. It'll bring up 3rd and 15. Colonel's really throwing the ball a bunch here lately.
Well, they have. And Trajon Smith from Greensville County kind of jumped that route. Lawrence looked like he was open. Nice job by Smith stopping that route. And really, Mateo did a nice job not trying to force it and throwing it where nobody could catch it.
Shaheem Pinnell in there as the running back behind Malback. Traquan Farmer up as a blocking back just behind right guard. Here comes the 3rd and 15 play from the far hash mark for the Colonels. They'll snap this ball from the Greensville 16-yard line. Handoff goes to Pinnell. Looks like they're just trying to angle it towards the middle of the field to get Nick Boley a chance to use his leg and get 3 points for the Altavista Colonels. Clock turns with 1:40 left to play in the half. It's just a 2-yard pickup for Shaheem Pinnell. Did a nice job hanging on to the football, and you could tell that there was some clear instructions. although we don't see Nick Boley coming out just yet. Maybe they're going to call the timeout when the play clock gets down low.
It would be about a 35, 36-yarder from this point. So
Colonel's all looking to the sideline. Doesn't look like a play's been signaled in just yet.
I can tell you this much: Nick Boley wants in. He keeps stepping.
And here comes the timeout from head coach Mike Sharness. Let's take it with him. Got a fourth down coming up for the Altavista Colonels. Probably a field goal situation for Nick Boley. Altavista on top of Greensville, 20-0. You've got yourself a ringside seat on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial of Altavista offers mobile welding and repair services, fully equipped service trucks, and certified craftsmen, and quick response to satisfy your needs. Contact PCM Industrial at powerconstruction.com. PCM Industrial is a fully insured Class A licensed contractor, OSHA and MSHA compliant. PCM Industrial Services of Altavista wishes Coach Sharness and the Altavista Colonels football team good luck in another winning season.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
So excited to be with you on a Friday night. The Altavista Colonels lead 20-0 over the Greensville County Eagles. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Oscar Briggs, and we're looking at a Nick Boley field goal try. I already mentioned that he converted a 40-yarder last week against Prince Edward. This is shorter than that, Oscar, but it's certainly not gimme range at all.
No, but certainly within his range. He was pretty confident and pretty steady in warm-ups.
35-yarder. Here's the snap. It gets to the block. He's got enough leg that it's sneaky. Oh, no, it hit the crossbar and went out. It dunked right off the crossbar. I thought that Boley had enough leg, but he ended up just being inches short, literally, as it hits the crossbar, bounces up in the air about maybe 10 or 15 feet, and then falls harmlessly in the end zone. The kick, no good, and the Colonels' lead will stay at 20-0.
Boy, I thought like you. I thought it looked like it when it left, it had enough. And then as it started to come down, it came down right on the crossbar. Like you said, bounced about 10 feet up in the air and then fell about a foot short.
It's like a green that had a false front there. It looked like it was going to get back to the pin, and it just sucked right off. I think Nick might have hit it a little bit low on the football, and it didn't really compress it all the way. Still a great try for Nick there, and probably can't feel too bad about himself. Eagles will go under center from their own 20-yard line. Here's a handoff play, big mass of bodies. Now it becomes a rugby scrum about 1 yard past the original line of scrimmage. Looks like they'll spot it there for him for a gain of 1 as the progress is stopped. We're under 1 minute to play here in the half. Greensville does have one timeout to spare. Wouldn't be shocked to see them just try and get to the end, the halftime, as quickly as possible.
I agree. Shout out. Continue. Cindy and Baker Parish was in Myrtle Beach.
In North Myrtle?
They're in Myrtle.
They're just in
Myrtle proper now.
We need to be completely clear there. Here comes the second play. More shout-outs to the Subway halftime show. We got to have some fun. Roll-out passing opportunity. No, the quarterback, Jaden Young's just going to keep it. He got hit hard by Lawrence Galliard. Gosh, we're calling Lawrence's name a whole lot again, aren't we, OP?
We really are. And, again, Mateo Malback did a nice job of forcing Young back in. And the Colonels have really done a good job keeping the rushing game from going outside. The only success that they've had really has been up the middle and off tackle. The option has not worked well.
Play clock is going to run out, and we are headed to halftime. It was a long first half, but a successful one for the Altavista Colonels. They sport the 20-0 lead. Come on back and join us for the Subway halftime show. We'll have some scores, some more analysis from this one, and who knows what else. It'll be fun. Colonels lead 20-0 over Greensville County on 105.5 KD Country.
Get on the winning team and come find one of a kind. If you're looking for a new dining experience, try Piece of Pie on Broad Street. Come check out the great selection of local craft beers and enjoy a delicious barbecue meal at Two Sisters Tap Room, or sample a bottle of traditional mead from Vassir Mead Works, one of 12 meaderies in the state. An invitation from the Altavista Office of Economic Development. More information online at altavistaontrack.net.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in, bring the family, see your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
We return to the press box at Greensville County High School. One of the most hospitable press boxes we've been at, Oscar. We've been at some good ones. The Colonels not being very hospitable on their road trip. They lead 20-0. It's featured 2 turnovers for Altavista, 2 takeaways. Matt Agan with the fumble recovery, and then also Mateo Malbach, an interception. Malbach has run a touchdown. He's thrown a touchdown to Jacob Adams, and Chancellor Mormon got the scoring started with a 7-yard rushing TD. And we can't say that the Altavista Colonels are playing great, but they're playing well enough, and all things considered, I think it's a nice way to bounce back after the dismal offensive performance last week.
Well, they've shown a couple of drives. They've really moved the ball well. There were a couple of I'm going to call them drives, but a couple of possessions where they went backwards. Some of that is due to a plethora of penalties on both teams. And I know that we talked about they had 8 last week. Was it 8 or 9 penalties last week at Prince Edward?
8
and Coach Shaughness wanted to eliminate some of those. And quite frankly, I think it was a point of emphasis, and I don't think there's anything they could have done to eliminate the number of penalties that we've seen tonight called on both teams. 18 so far by unofficial count. That there hadn't been a lot of flow to the game.
Hadn't been a lot of flow. You can say this for the Colonels, though. None of that unsportsmanlike conduct, late hit after the play, guys jawing at each other kind of stuff. So they have improved there. Another half to go. The majority of the penalties for the Altavista Colonels have been illegal procedure, offsides, and then some holds in there as well.
Well, that's for both teams.
Yeah.
I will say this. We talked about adjusting to the officiating crew. If you can get an answer as to what they're doing wrong, and I'm sure that I did see Coach Shaughness talking, trying to figure out what was going on. Mario Walton was trying to figure out what was going on. Again, you've got to adjust and adapt to the officiating crew if you can figure out exactly what the infractions are.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that's what coaches want is communication. Now, back to our point about no flow for the game. If the referee has to go over and give a dissertation to the coach every time there's a penalty, well, that slows down the game even more. But I think you can find a balance in there. I think both coaches deserve to know what's going on. Hopefully you know what's going on. We'll come back with some area scores, get some good ones out there. Maybe you guys are leaving a game right now, headed to a game, just tuning us in for a minute. We're glad you're joining us. It's the Subway halftime show. Altavista leads 20-0 over the Greensville County Eagles. We're back with more after this on 105.5 KD Country.
Compassionate Care Choices, Autumn Care, 24-hour skilled nursing, inpatient, outpatient, physical, occupational, and speech therapies. Autumn Care invites you to tour their facility in 2016, receiving the Bronze Quality by the American Healthcare Association. 5-star rating by Centers for Medicare, Medicaid Services. Autumn Care, a member of Sabre Healthcare Group, serving Altavista and surrounding areas since 1989.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs, and they're priced right with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista, the next time you get ready to make a change. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels.
Introducing D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. A name you've grown to trust, Donnie Bryant is back with D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. As an American Standard dealer, D.L. Bryant Heating has the tools and the talent to handle all of your heating and cooling issues, large or small. Call 841-1580. That's 841-1580 for D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. Call 841-1580 for a name you can trust, Donnie Bryant and D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling.
How do we make a better sandwich at Subway? Our new chicken Caesar melt is a great example. We start with tender rotisserie-style chicken that's raised without antibiotics. Top it with a savory Caesar sauce and add melted provolone and a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese for a flavor that's so deliciously unique, it redefines what a better sandwich should taste like. The all-new chicken Caesar melt from Subway. Limited time only.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
El Cerrito in Altavista. Throw on a sombrero, shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only El Cerrito can serve up.
The Medicine Shop in Altavista, your Carolina boot headquarters with all sizes and styles of Carolina boots. The Medicine Shop, a full-service pharmacy.
One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
They're doing it right at the Dairy Freeze. Hot dogs, burgers, fries, and of course, ice cream. Dairy Freeze on Main Street, Altavista.
Radio Shack in Crystal Bay Pools, Altavista, serving your area since 1989 for swimming pool installations, chemicals, liners, and more.
Your home for Colonel Sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
And we return to the Subway halftime show. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Oscar Briggs. Let's talk about this Subway experience, shall we? The great customer service. Katie mentioned she went with the sweet onion chicken teriyaki again. Eleanor, the turkey sub again. So those were two usual favorites there. It sounded like you went with one of your usuals as well.
No, I'm different.
Nice.
I went with the Subway Club, and I hadn't done that in quite a while. Back since basketball season, so it was good to get back on that track again.
Nice. What'd you have on it?
No, you get
nothing exotic.
I got the deluxe. I mean, I always do that.
Okay.
All the extra meat, and you just can't beat that deal.
You're a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
I kind of am.
I hear you. They put me on a diet. They didn't let me go to Subway tonight. No, I'm just kidding. The wonderful performance here by the Greensville County Marching Band. You and I were just marveling at the sheer size and strength of the band and the flag corps and the majorettes, the whole 9 yards. You talk about a well-oiled machine. This is it.
It really is. You know, we've been on the road a bunch, and really for the last 3 years, this is the best band performance we've seen. It's been outstanding. Great, entertaining. The majorettes, the flag corps, just outstanding. And speaking of bands,
yes,
Altavista bands, if you're listening, they are starting their citrus sale, which is really their major fundraiser. See a band member, a parent, support those kids as band leader Mario Ruiz continues to build the Altavista band and get increased participation. Your money goes a long way, and hey, you're paying to get some great fruit too.
Yeah, you end up getting a great deal on some great fruit. I mean, no knock on your local grocery store, but you're going to get a better deal doing this. It's high quality stuff, and you are helping out the band. It is a nice fundraiser. They've been doing it for a while. I think it's fabulous, and hopefully you will get in there and help them out.
Continued shout-outs while you're scrolling, looking for some scores.
Do it, yeah.
Lance Bain texted and said he's enjoying listening to the broadcast. And I appreciate you listening and your loyal listening, Lance.
Lance Bain, a very good basketball player in his day.
He was outstanding.
He was, I believe, Gardner-Webb. Didn't we look him up? He played at Gardner-Webb.
I think he's still got a sporting record or two there.
Yeah, my dear friend Brad Hames, a Gardner-Webb alumni, now a professional baseball player in the minor league ranks. Another great basketball player listening, Addison Mormon, tuned in. Of course, sister of Chancellor Mormon. She's excited about Chancellor getting in the end zone. She's excited about volleyball season. Lady Colonels getting fired up again. Yes, I do have some other scores from some other games, Oscar, and there are some good ones out there tonight. Our Campbell County neighbor taking on our neighbor to the south, Brookville, right now leading 38-7 over the Gretna Hawks. Most of these games at or around halftime. Magna Vista leads JF 21-7. Amherst and LCA are all tied up at 14. Central Lunenburg is up 21-10 against Randolph Henry. William Campbell sporting a 10-point lead against Buckingham. Russburg up a touchdown, 14-7 over Allegheny. And in a Bedford County rivalry, Stanton River is on top of Liberty, 21-6. We'll keep an eye on all those games. Colonels lead this one 20-0. Oscar and I need to catch our breath and hope you do the same and come on back and join us. It's the Subway Halftime Show. Colonels lead 20-0 on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
I'm Greg Walker with an exciting new offer from Feller Chevrolet. Purchase any new or used vehicle of Fellers and receive a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and a 3-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Again, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a 3-day money-back guarantee. At Feller Chevrolet, we stand behind what we sell, and we save you money. Come see us. You'll be glad you did.
A short drive will save you money. Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Here's some valuable information when buying your dream home. I'm Tracy Gallahan with First National Bank, and we offer more mortgage options. We have a wider variety of loans to help you purchase a new home or lower your existing monthly payment. So, for a more custom mortgage loan of any size, contact local First National Bank. We'll show you an extraordinary customer experience and help you bring home more bacon. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Hello, this is Jerry Motley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
The Subway Halftime Show returns, and more shout-outs before we get back underway with some analysis for the second half, Oscar. Michael Cothran, listening in Perry, Florida. I told you they were listening around the world at kdcountry.com. Coach Josh Cothran's brother, Michael, tuned in Perry, Florida. Mike, glad to have you. Hang out, stay a while. It's probably as hot down there for you as it is for us. We'll also send a shout-out to assistant coach Phil Tinsley. He couldn't make it to the game tonight, had some family issues, and don't know if Phil is tuned in or not, but hopefully things are going okay, and hopefully everybody else tuned in getting to hear a nice Colonels win. If you get in touch with me or Oscar or the KD Country Facebook page, we'll send you a shout-out too.
Hey.
What you got?
No, I mean, interesting halftime. In addition to the great performance by the band, there were only 3 flags thrown for illegal procedure.
Come on. He's turning it into a comedy show. If you joined us late, folks, that is in reference to the amount of flags we had in the first half. 18 of them? Is that right? 18 penalties. 18 penalties between the two teams. They were split pretty evenly. I'd say right down the middle. I don't want to be too statistical here. I'm not sure that it was 9 and 9, but it was pretty close. It wasn't one-sided by any means. And let's talk about the second half, Oscar. This is a talented Greensville County squad. They trailed 20-0. They've shown some flashes. What do you think to get back in the game? We know the young man, the quarterback, Jaden Young, can really wing that football. You think pass more or have a balance? Just how would you attack this Colonels defense that, you have to admit, Colonel's defense is playing pretty good right now.
I think the thing that they've got to do, I think they've got to be Greensville County. I think they got to be patient. They ran the ball well. They were able to stay ahead of the chains for the most part. When they got the penalties, they got behind, and Altavista was able to pretty much pin their ears back. The outside game didn't work. The option did not work well for Greensville County. They put the ball on the turf a few times, and when they didn't put it on the turf, the Colonels did a good job of turning the thing up inside to allow the pursuit to catch them and stop them either for a loss or either at the line of scrimmage. So I think if they're patient and continue to play power football, they can get back in the ballgame.
Another shout-out to Colonel's basketball coach, Troy Harris. He's tuned in. He gave us a compliment. He said, you guys are the best broadcasters I've heard broadcasting Altavista football tonight. And that was a really solid compliment.
Maybe last week.
Maybe last week we did have a good duo, but Coach Harris getting all geared up for basketball season. They're doing a fundraiser, too. You can see Coach Harris or you can see Glenn Miller at Miller's Jewelry. If Glenn and Linda Miller didn't make the trip, I feel sure they're listening. They're big-time Colonel fans, so we'll send a shout-out there. My good buddy Benny Nash, I saw him. He's a big William Campbell and Altavista fan. He's one of those house-divided guys, but you can root for multiple people. You and I, we root for everybody.
That's right. Lee Stenett's listening. I'm sure he's posted something on Facebook that the Colonels are up 20-0 at halftime, and Lee's pretty faithful listener and head of the Colonel Club. And, boy, that's an organization that allows these athletes and really the school in general to do a lot of things that a lot of schools can't do. And it's not just football and basketball, and it's academics as well, and just really the overall facilities at the school. The Colonel Club does a great job supporting Ty Gafford and the staff and making a lot of things possible that we can. Some schools just can't do.
Yeah, and I think it starts from the top. I think Principal Ty Gafford, Athletic Director Dean Hubbard, and you're right, the Colonel Club is right up there. I can't say enough good things about what they do, and that's an all-volunteer organization, folks. There's nobody making any money off of that at all. They're just giving up their time and their sweat, and they love it, too. They don't even complain about it. That's the beautiful thing. Colonels will kick off to start the second half. Everybody's done their aerobics and their calisthenics. We're set to go here. 12 minutes of regulation football in the Englishes, your complete home center, third quarter. Subway halftime show is done. More scores as we go on from some other games. Of course, we'll keep our eyes peeled. Bowley set to kick off for the Colonels. Colonels in the road. White jerseys, orange pants, black helmets. Here comes the run-up from Nick. The right foot boot is off into the night sky. It's a pretty good kick, fielded on the run by number 3, DeAndre Anderson at the 5. He's all the way to the 25. Now the 30. Now the 35. The 40. He just kept going off of guys. Colonels finally did bring him down. Jordan Spinner looked like he was the man that did most of the damage on the tackle. And Greensville County, pretty good starting field position to get the second half going from their own 42-yard line.
He did something a little different that you don't see a lot of high school players do. He didn't wait for the ball to come down. He started behind the ball, just like an outfielder comes in to get throwing position. He came and caught that ball at full speed, and he blew by the first wave of Altavista defenders and got deep into that second wave.
Greensville will operate under center on this first down play. Colonel's not showing blitz. Linebackers back 5 yards. Now they move, and now Greensville County moves early, and Oscar, the pen, always mightier than the flag because you will mark down another penalty. It's an offside penalty against the Greensville County Eagles, clad in the home green jerseys, yellow pants, very reminiscent of Nelson County or perhaps the Green Bay Packers from the professional ranks. Under center again. Go ahead.
You mentioned Green Bay. Wouldn't it be an interesting twist to have the G on the side of the helmet?
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would look cool.
Nelson County kind of had that for a while with the Governors. I think they've since changed the logo. Handoff play on first down. They give it to the big running back. That's Jaquan Simmons. Colonels cut him down with a thigh pad tackle by Mateo Malbeck and Lawrence Galliard. Sizable chunk of yards gained there, though, on first down. He gets it back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
You got to be careful with a trademark infringement. You know, Appomattox had their A for years, and some grad student at Arizona was doing some research and found out they had it, and made them issued a cease and desist order from a judge and had to change their logo.
It's a crazy world, isn't it? I told you the pen was mightier. Here's a handoff play again. Simmons, same play. Malbeck gets him low, hits him hard, never really wraps him up, just sort of dumps him over his shoulder to the turf. That's another 5-yard pickup. call it 3rd and 6, actually, here, with 11 minutes left to play in the third quarter. 20-0 Altavista advantage.
Young's had good success getting one-on-one coverage with the Altavista defenders and getting the ball. He's got a good arm. He's been successful on several occasions completing those passes. So watch for that on this 3rd down and long.
It's a 3-4 defense for Altavista this year. It's twin safeties, Christian Gilbert and Mateo Malbeck. The backers walking up showing blitz. Fake the handoff. It's a bootleg run. Malbeck missed the tackle. Quarterback Jaden Young's across the 50, the 45, thrown down by Shaheen Pinnell and also Tevin Pearman. Nice moves there from Jaden Young to get free, and it's a 3rd down conversion for Greensville County, their first of the evening.
Almost a naked bootleg.
Yeah.
And once he got by Mateo Malbeck, Mateo had a beat on him. He made him miss. And then it was all downhill for them from the Colonels. Nice pickup by Young.
Jaden Young is very speedy. Looks over the defense in the crouch, ready to take the snap. Hands off to Simmons. Simmons hits Traquan Farmer hard right in the chest, and Farmer just holds on and rides him down. It's a 1-yard pickup on the right side for Jaquan Simmons. He's a 225-pound junior. Traquan Farmer, of course, a senior for the Altavista Colonels.
Pearman and Farmer out.
There's those substitutions again from defensive coordinator Mike Revis, keeping the fresh bodies in there. And of course, everybody pretty much plays both ways, and most guys play on special teams too. Young barks out the snap count. Another handoff play this time. Simmons is going to try behind left guard. Hit hard by a couple Colonels. They don't have him down just yet. Now he's finally dumped to the turf by Daniel Triplett. That's about a 5-yard gain there on 2nd down, Oscar. Going to bring up another 3rd and 5 situation for Greensville County. Their football here to start the second half. This is the opening drive of the second half. We're about 2.5 minutes and some change into it.
Well, and we talked about it at a half, about their ability to stay patient and commit to the run, and they've done a very good job of doing that so far. Nice job of moving the football here on this opening drive of the second half with the Colonels leading 20-0.
Greensville County going to get under center again. We haven't seen any shotgun yet here in the second half. One lone wide receiver to the right. Young wants to run that way. It's another naked bootleg. Not going to get outside this time. Run down from behind by Matt Aiken and Aaron Close, and then finally finished off by Galliard and Malbeck. Going to set up a 4th and 2. I'm expecting Greensville County to go for it, aren't you, AB?
Yeah, you're trailing 20-0. You're inside Altavista territory. You're at the 30-yard line. Nothing to be gained from a punt. If it were to go in the end zone, it won't be a 10-yard gain. So, yeah, I like the call here. I think you have to go for it.
Greensville 1 for 2 on 4th down so far in the evening. They had that one big pickup on a drive where it looked like they were going to threaten and get in the end zone. Altavista so far still holding on to the shutout. They're on top 20-0. Young will get under center. He's got Simmons behind him as the running back. Linemen are down in the 3-point stance. Watch the hard count. Yes, Young went to it. Now he'll turn and hand off to Simmons. Flags did come out, so somebody jumped offside.
Nope.
Is it Altavista or was it? Oh, it's illegal procedure on Greensville County. It'll back them up for 5 yards. Oscar marks down another tick in the penalty column. Are we up to 21 now?
It's 20.
20, okay. Got ahead of myself.
Yeah, you did.
So it's going to be more like 4th and 7 now for Greensville County. Looks like they still have designs to go for it here on 4th down. 8:09 left to play in the Englishes, your complete home center, third quarter. Orca coolers available now at Englishes, Oscar. I'm sorry. Gosh, how well would one of those come in handy earlier?
I'd like to have one today.
I thought our faces were going to melt off. I could have lived in that Orca cooler for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Here comes the 4th and 7 try from Greensville County. Young is under center again. Maybe watch for the pass now. Stephen Farmer showing blitz for the Colonels. Left guard by the move for Greensville County. He'll fake the run. He's flushed out of the pocket, just thrown backwards at the 50. It's Stephen Farmer and Lawrence Galliard combining for the big-time sack, and the Colonels are going to get the ball with great field position. They'll give him forward progress back at the 40, just call it the 50-yard line. The Colonels will take over there 1st and 10.
Wow. There's a 15-yard loss, and there was a jailbreak. He had no prayer. Young's is a very, very good athlete and a very good quarterback. And he's a junior. He's done a great job tonight, but he had no chance at all to get rid of that ball.
Yeah, I think if he could have thrown it up in the air, again, back to your point earlier, it would have worked out just like a punt, but he just literally had no chance to get rid of it. Colonel's going from the shotgun. Here's senior Mateo Malbeck, barking out the snap count, ready to receive it. Chest high, option play to the right. Pitches to That's Jonathan Montague. Montague outside, cut down with a waist-high tackle at the 45-yard line.
And there's going to be a penalty on that, a block in the back. Jake Adams out on the edge.
To be honest with you, I fumbled for Montague's name there for a second, Oscar. I had flashbacks to the old number 2, Clyde Moon, and it just, for some reason, I wanted to say Clyde Moon on the carry. You're right. It's a block in the back. It's going to go against the Colonels. We'll see where they end up spotting this one off. It's going to be from the spot of the foul. It might not be a crippling penalty. No, it's just going to back them up to their own 45. So looks like 1st and 15 now for the Altavista Colonels. 7:34 left to play in the third quarter.
When Claudel was a ball to watch, wasn't he?
So much fun. What a player. Talking about a guy that one day would be on the defensive line against somebody like Honaker, crawling across the defensive line. The next week playing safety against Essex. Here comes a handoff play. They'll give it to Montague again. He's got some room all around the right side. He's across the 40. He is gone. There is nobody within 20 yards of Jonathan Montague. It's a 55-yard scoring run from number 2, Jonathan Montague.
Well, and as bad a play as Jake Adams made on the previous play, he made up for it on that one. He was engaged. There was one player that had an opportunity to get a hold of Jonathan on that, and Jake Adams was engaged with him, kept his hands in tight, and absolutely slammed the kid to the ground. Great job by Adams out on the edge.
Great stuff there from the O-line, too. It was Stephen Farmer that pulled from the left guard spot, cleared out some space over there off right tackle, and Jonathan Montague didn't need a lot of space. You mentioned Jacob Adams with the great block out there on the exterior of the defense. He's on to hold. The snap is high. Boley's going to pick it up. He'll just fall on and cover up, and a flag is going to come out there. That's probably going to be unnecessary roughness on a player from Greensville. Boley covered up. The Greensville County player came in there helmet first, and wonder if this is going to give the Colonels a second chance to try the extra point, OB. It should, shouldn't it?
No,
they're offsetting. There was a penalty on the Altavista Colonels.
Great.
Did you just mark that as one penalty or two?
No, that's 2.
Colonels lead 26-0. They are going to get to try it again, though, I think, because of the offsetting penalties, or not. Colonels are staying out there. Now they're going to, well, they're drifting towards their sideline, but they're not headed back quite yet.
If it's 2 penalties, if it's offsetting penalties, then there should be a retry.
Sure. They're going to send them back. They're going to send them back, so we'll take a timeout. Colonels score on the 55-yard Jonathan Montague rushing touchdown. They'll kick it back away to Greensville County. 7:24 left to play in the third when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonel's offense couldn't score last week. They're scoring this week 4 touchdowns, Oscar. The most recent, Jonathan Montague on the ground with the feet for a 55-yarder. It's some interesting stuff on the point after try. There was a penalty against Greensville County. We thought it might have been offsetting penalties. They're just going to mark it off on the kickoff. And the Colonels are going to kick from the Greensville 45-yard line.
And this is a no-brainer for me if I'm Coach Sharnas.
An onside kick?
I think you have to. I mean, you're on the 45. You know, if it goes 10 and they recover it, they're still at their own 35-yard line.
Which is where you would start if you accidentally kicked it out of bounds, right?
That's right. You're up 26-0 with 7:24 remaining in the third quarter.
Sure. It's a chance to bury them.
It's a chance to bury them, and it's also a great spot to practice your onside kick in a situation where it won't. They don't have the pressure on you that you would ordinarily have in this type to utilize that tactic.
That's why you're award-winning, man. The beautiful mind of Oscar Briggs coming up with the theories and the ideas. You shared some of them with me on the ride down. Now, a few of them were too radical for public consumption. I can't talk about them on the radio just yet. But in a few years, I'm interested to see if they try it. I think it's a great point by you. Let's see what Nick Boley does here on the run-up. And kicked it long. He just drove a line drive. It'll get fielded right on the goal line. This is the return man, number 3, DeAndre Anderson. He's had his hands on a few. He's across the 20 now to the 25. To your point, obviously hindsight is 50-50 at best. It's a 10-yard difference of where they would have gotten it if you tried the onside kick.
And I'm not going to second-guess Coach Sean.
Oh, sure.
I mean, he's got like 3 more state championships or 4 more state championships
just
than I
4.
have.
Yeah.
4.
3 at Altavista, 1 at Rustburg.
That's right.
No, I think you made a great point there. Colonel's defense, however, will set up shop and look to fortify their defense here as Greensville will operate from their own 25-yard line, the far hash mark, working left to right from our perspective. There's 7 minutes and 17 seconds left to play in the English's, your complete home center, third quarter. Greensville not quite lined up right just yet. It is a shotgun formation this time, though. Option play to the right. Here comes the pitch to the back. Oh, what a tackle. What a form tackle from Mateo Malbeck. He got his butt down. He put his helmet right in the ball carrier's chest, picked him up, dropped him to the turf, planted it.
Continued to drive his legs. You're right. That was textbook. And again, that option play just has not paid benefits for Greensville. They have been much better off running off tackle or running up the middle.
It's hard to account for Mateo Malbeck as a safety. You don't normally, when you draw plays up on the blackboard, think about blocking the safety. But Malbeck gets in there quickly. It's a loss of 4. Greensville breaks the huddle with 6:37 left to play in the third and the turning clock. Jaquan Simmons back in there as the running back. He's set up to Jaden Young's right. Farmer showing blitz again. Tried to plow through there. It's a passing play. Young wants to throw. Oh, big arm here across the 50. It's complete there. It's caught by DeAndre Anderson. Anderson is across the 20, the 10, the 5. Malbeck nearly got him but couldn't reel him in. It's a touchdown for the Eagles. We'll say it's a 79-yard passing strike, and all of a sudden, new life breathed into the crowd here at Greensville County.
Boy, what a gun. What a great throw by Young to Anderson. Mateo looked like he was in this position, but Anderson just ran by him.
Wow. He threw it from about his own 15-yard line. Almost a line drive throw, had a little bit of arc. It was caught right around the 50 by DeAndre Anderson. Anderson went straight down the middle of the field with good speed to find the end zone. Colonel's defense has surrendered some points, so the shutout is gone. And gosh, what a throw from Jaden Young. We saw him showcase that big arm earlier in the game. That time it was very nice. You give that kid time in the pocket, he can burn you.
They're going for 2.
Shotgun formation again. There's 2 receivers to each side. One set up as a wing. High lob snap. Young takes it, darting to the end zone. Did he get in? Waiting for a signal. He's close to the goal line. Nothing yet.
Yeah.
And there it is. He's good. He's in there for a 2-point conversion. Greensville County down but not out. They score and trail 26-8. Altavista football when you return with 6:16 left to play in the quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Napa know-how. Pennzoil Platinum Synthetic Motor Oil for just $4.99 a quart at Napa is filled with super smart oil technology. But I'm not an oil scientist, so I can't explain all that. However, I am smart enough to know that grabbing Pennzoil Platinum Synthetic for only $4.99 a quart is a smart deal. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 9/30/16.
Brought to you by Napa of Altavista, proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
The Greensville County offense showcasing some high-powered passing. It was Jaden Young to DeAndre Anderson, 79-yard pass and catch. Anderson took it about 45 yards after the catch. And the 2-point conversion converted there on the run by Jaden Young, and all of a sudden perhaps some momentum for the home team, OB.
No, I think that's absolutely, there's been a momentum shift. And that was we talked about Young. That was a great pass. And the Colonels are a little flustered. They actually lined up on the wrong side of the field to receive the kickoff.
They did. If it was still the second quarter, they would have been in good shape. But you flip sides every quarter. We are in the English's Your Complete Home Center third quarter. These hot days outside call for an Orca cooler. They've got many different ones to choose from at English's Your Complete Home Center, North Main Street in Altavista. Crowd came to life. The band came to life. The public address man, Jim Wood, came to life. And we've still got 6:16 left to play in the quarter, so still very much a ball game here. Colonels do lead 26-8. Let's see what the response is like. Oh, it's a short kick.
Let it go out of
Line
bounds.
drive, and it does go out of bounds. Matt Aiken thought about grabbing it and picking it up, but it does go out of bounds, and Oscar so diligently gets to mark down another penalty because it is a penalty, and the Colonels will start on their own 35-yard line. 26-8. If you joined us late, Colonels led 26-0. Mormon scored first on a 7-yard rushing touchdown for the Colonels. Then it was Mateo Malbach to Jacob Adams, a 74-yard passing touchdown. Malbach raced in a 2-yard scoring run after a Matt Aiken fumble recovery got the Colonels right to the doorstep. And in the third quarter, Jonathan Montague on a 55-yard scoring run. That brings us to the 26-8 margin, the most recent score by Greensville County. Jaden Young to DeAndre Anderson on the passing catch. Colonels are set to go on offense, working right to left from our perspective.
It's a nice recap.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to rise to the occasion. Oh, here's a snap over Malbach's head. Malbach checks the defense, falls on it at the 20-yard line. That one never touched his hands. It was just an errant snap high over his head. Not much he could do. It's a big loss of yards for the Colonels.
19-yard loss. And that certainly a big momentum shift right now.
After the touchdown, yeah.
The Colonels look a little flustered.
I can't disagree with you. 2nd and 28. 2nd and 28 for Altavista. They're in the road white jerseys with the orange pants. Malbach has the offense set in the backfield. 2 running backs beside him. This is a better snap. Wants to throw to Adams. Oh, Adams had it momentarily and then lost it. Nice break up by Taekwon Odom. He got enough of a hand in there to jar it away from Jacob Adams.
Taekwon's gotten burned on that play a couple times, and it was not going to happen. He did a great job of jumping around, getting on the inside, reading what Mateo and Jake were trying to do.
Trying for that short little slant pattern again, wasn't it?
Yep.
See what the Colonels, see if they're conservative here, Oscar. Or maybe they throw caution to the wind and put the ball in the air again.
I'd like to see him put it in the air and maybe a little pump fake to Jake on a fly pattern.
3rd and 27 from their own 20, middle of the field. Blitz coming. Malbach lost the snap again. This one was high. It's loose. It's scooped up by Greensville County. It's a touchdown by number 20, Isaiah Crutchfield. Crutchfield scooped it up on the 15-yard line, and there was nothing but green grass between him and the end zone. We talked about Greensville County had some momentum. They have a lot of momentum now, Oscar Briggs. This is one of the wilder swings that I can remember in the times that we have been watching high school ball.
Certainly on this side of the ball, from the Colonels' perspective, we haven't seen a momentum shift this big against a Colonels team in quite some time. I'm like you. I can't remember a time where there was this big momentum shift, and they are. It's 26-14, pending the 2-point conversion. They are right back in this ball game.
The Colonels did this in the second quarter, scored quickly 2 times in a row. Greensville County has done it now. Altavista got a player on very late. Young wants to try the same play, looking to the right side, did not get in. Stephen Farmer with a nice play, got him up high. It was borderline a horse collar tackle, but Farmer just got the jersey and slammed it to the turf. Nice stop there, but the momentum firmly rests on the Greensville County sideline. They trail, but by a lot less now. It's 26-14. Colonels football when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week. Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador, the happiest place in town, thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Oh, and we return to Greensville County High School. The crowd is into it. This is a great atmosphere for football down here in Emporia. I don't think the Colonels are preferring the atmosphere right now. They started the third quarter with the Jonathan Montague long run. It was all Colonels there for a while, Oscar. 26-0. Since then, 14 unanswered from the home team.
Very quickly, 14 points as well.
As quick as we've seen, here comes the kickoff. Shaheem Pinnell has it on the left side numbers. He's going to take it all the way to the right sideline, covering a lot of ground. tried to jump cut over a guy at the 30-yard line. Pinnell ran about 90 yards to gain 10. Maybe not quite 90.
No. He certainly ran. He ran almost the width of the field to pick up, to get the ball to the 35-yard line. He caught that ball over his shoulder via like a Willie Mays, and that ball may have been headed out of bounds as well. No difference. It would end up at the 35-yard line anyway because it was past the 30.
Holding on to the football is priority number one right now, and he did that. I mean, even if you don't get a first down, at least give your defense a chance to get their sea legs back. Here comes the shotgun snap. Ballback has this one. Hands off. Oh, and Gilbert has some room to run. He's going right down the middle, across the 50, the 40. A trio of defenders will cut him down at the 25-yard line. How huge is that for Altavista to silence the crowd?
Yeah, that's a great answer. And the best thing about that play was it got from the center back into Mateo Malback's hands. Solid.
Clean exchange all the way around. You're absolutely right. Good pass from the center. Good handoff from Mateo Malback, and good running from Christian Gilbert. There was a lot of room through the middle.
That's the point I was getting ready to make. It was a great hole opened up by the offensive line.
Number 73, Dylan Herring, is the center. Did a great job on both the courts there. Here comes another snap to give it to Gilbert again. More room. This time on the right side. He is in, untouched into the end zone for 6 more. There are no flags on the field. I probably shouldn't speak too soon. It's a 25-yard rushing touchdown for Christian Gilbert. The Colonels with a very nice answer there. Get back on the board again, lighting up that scoreboard all of a sudden, OB.
Boy, yeah, it's a track meet's broken out here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Put on your track shoes. Put on your dancing shoes.
Put on your shoes that light up when you step.
Oh, gosh, he's got something for everything. There was a young man on the Greensville County sideline that had shoes that lit up, and we loved him. The Colonels lighting up that scoreboard. Here comes the extra point try. Another low snap, but it does get to the kicking block. Nick Boley gets the right leg on it and gets it through. Colonels 33, Greensville County 14. I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of the scoring in this one, though. Under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Come back and join us on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial of Altavista offers mobile welding and repair services, fully equipped service trucks, and certified craftsmen, and quick response to satisfy your needs. Contact PCM Industrial at powerconstruction.com. PCM Industrial is a fully insured Class A licensed contractor, OSHA and MSHA compliant. PCM Industrial Services of Altavista wishes Coach Sharnes and the Altavista Colonels football team good luck in another winning season.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Christian Gilbert with a long run to get the Altavista Colonels in scoring position, and then he does the honors himself with a 25-yard scoring run. It went off right tackle. He had to high step through one defender, but after that, it was about 10 yards open space to pay dirt. Christian Gilbert, part of that three-headed monster of a rushing attack that the Colonels have. And Altavista, a nice job to get the momentum back, or at least slow some of the momentum that Greensville County had.
Well, that's Mormon has scored, Adams has scored, Malback has scored, Montague scored, Gilbert scored. So you get 5 different Colonels that have scored. Long term, that bodes well for the Colonels.
Sure does.
That you've got that many weapons that can get the ball into the end zone.
5 different players have scored, 4 of them on rushing touchdowns. Malback, of course, has a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. There's 4 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in this English is your complete home center third quarter. Colonels on top, 33-14. They'll kick it away. This one's going to get in DeAndre Anderson's hands on the bounce. Oh, no, it won't. It'll be picked up by number 7, Taekwon Odom. Oh, Odom makes the first guy miss. Now he's going the wrong direction. Oh, sips his way through some defenders, though. Nice job, and Shaheem Pinnell finally wrapped him up and threw him down. Talk about Houdini. I mean, where did he go? Now you see him, now you don't.
Yeah, he made several moves, and he got by about 6 Altavista defenders. He was about 3 steps away. If Shaheem didn't catch him, he was about 3 steps away from getting 30 or 40 yards downfield. There's a Greensville player county down on the field now.
Let's take the injury timeout. Altavista leading 33-14, 4:52 left to play in the third quarter. Greensville County football with a first down when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
Get on the winning team and come find one of a kind. Shoppers, did you know Altavista has several unique antique stores? Check out the great selection at Mad Biddy's, 105 Wood Lane Road, or stop by Vintage on Broad to see where the American pickers have been. Try the Main Street Trading Company, offering unique home accents, jewelry, and more. An invitation from the Altavista Office of Economic Development. More information online at altavistaontrack.net.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Injury timeout on the field as we return to the press box here at Greensville County. One of the most fun nights I can remember, Oscar. A lot of times when you have to make these long road trips, you're like, oh, we're going to make a long road trip. But more often than not, we always have a great time when we make the long trip. Well, doesn't it seem that way?
Yeah, it was a nice ride up. We got to see Bugs Island and
all kinds of stuff.
We did get to see all kinds of stuff. It was a great trip up, nice, relaxing drive.
And we'll get a few scoring updates here as the Greensville County player still being attended to. Stanton River on top of Liberty now by a bunch, 48-6. Oh, let me send another shout-out. I was informed that Chancellor Mormon's grandmother tuned in down there in Gretna. That's great to hear.
We love the Mormon family.
We really do. We really do. I remember Chancellor's mom came up to us in the parking lot that one time, and she said, I just love listening to you guys. You guys are great. And we both kind of looked over our shoulder. We thought there was some other broadcast team behind us. We did that. Who, us? And she laughed, and it was a great time. But hey, we love all of our fans. We know you're out there, and even if you're just a casual fan, we love you too. We search for some more scores. Oh, Dan River is up 36-0 over Tunstall. It looks like the Wildcats are loading up for another great season, Oscar.
Imagine that.
EC Glass is up big on GW. Wow, 43-21. That's great stuff there for EC Glass. Jefferson Forest trailing, they've got the lead, 23-21 over Magna Vista High School. So some other good games out there. Trey John Smith is up and being helped off. He's actually going to get off under his own power there, discussing with the coaches. So we should be ready to go on first down. More updates from other games as we go on and get into the Subway postgame show. We've got ourselves a real dandy of a ball game with the Colonels on top 33-14. I know it's the kind of football that you are very keen on, Mr. Briggs.
Yeah, well, the question is, did they stop the full momentum of Greensville County with that touchdown? It was a great answer after looking very flustered at 2 quick scores after going 6 quarters, 5.5 quarters with holding teams to no score. And Greensville County exploded 2 quick scores.
6 quarters and some change, and then Greensville County ran off 14 unanswered in what ended up being, about a minute or so there, really. 4:52 left to play here in the third quarter. It's a 33-14 Colonel advantage. Here comes the shotgun snap. Young wants to throw. He needs to get rid of it. Bullet pass across the middle. Montague dove for it. He actually ran into the official there. I think he's going to check with him and make sure he's okay. Pass was incomplete. They were looking for number 15, Jerice Arrington.
And Montague was flagged for a personal foul for hitting an official.
That's a joke.
I'm kidding.
That's a joke, but there have been a lot of penalties if you joined us late. He's still discussing with them. Don't know if Johnny's brother Donnie is listening down there in Wise, but I know he likes to tune in sometimes when he has a chance. And Donovan playing a very good linebacker for UVA Wise. Not the only Colonel in college, of course. Here comes a 2nd and 10 play. Middle of the field. Greensville County working left to right. High snap. Young goes back for it. Dropping back. Bullet pass was intended for Simmons. He couldn't come away with it. Stephen Farmer there to apply some pressure in coverage. Boy, how about big Stephen Farmer out there in pass coverage? Normally, he's a blitzing type of linebacker, but he got out there and really delivered a good shot on Simmons as Simmons tried to pull it in.
That was Luke Kuechly-esque.
It was. He looks like Luke Kuechly out there.
Yeah.
Pounding. 4:41 left to play in the third quarter. Colonel's on top, 33-14. I'm Kyle Haney. He's Oscar Briggs. You can tell we're having fun tonight.
And that was a high snap, and really gave the Colonels time to react and diagnose what was going on. This is a big play.
It's a shotgun snap, but it is a floating type of shotgun snap, and it doesn't do Jaden Young, the quarterback, any favors. Colonel showing blitz again. This snap's better. Young's going to run it off right tackle. Never got there. Colonel's got him in the backfield, wrapped him up. Stopped by number 55, Ethan Young. Helped out by number 2, Jonathan Montague.
Boy, Tevin Pearman shot that gap, and he was there, too.
Colonels seem to be playing a little bit more rugged on defense as the game goes on. Don't you think, Oscar?
I
more
think,
physical?
Well, certainly on this series, those 2 scores, I think, might have awakened them because they have certainly played with their ears pinned back and been much more aggressive on this series than they have in this half.
Brings up punting formation here for Greensville. It's 4th and 10. I suppose you have to watch a little bit for the fake. Malback and Gilbert, deep to return for the Colonels. Perfect snap on the long snap there. This kick is very high, but not very deep. It will land on the 35 and chase forward and take a Greensville County bounce. Just lays to rest there on the Greensville 48-yard line. Excellent starting field position for the Colonels' offense to operate with 3:45 left to play in the English's third quarter. It's a 33-14 advantage for Altavista. And now is the time for Greensville County. If they are entertaining serious notions of coming back, Oscar, it's going to need to happen with a stop here. If the Colonels get points on this drive, I feel like it's going to be a Colonel victory. You never know, but I just feel that way.
It'll be a deep hole for sure.
Malback calls for the snap. They'll pull right guard. Malback's going to follow him on the quarterback keeper. He's off to the races up the right hash mark. Now he's going to cut it back and angle to his left. Thrown down just outside the 10-yard line. What a great run there on first down for Mateo Malback. A lot of nice blocking over there on the right side by the offensive line.
Well, and I really like what Mateo, when he broke into the secondary, the right corner from Greensville County was coming over, and he did a great job shifting hands to be able to straight to do the stiff arm. A great job of carrying the ball. Classic, great technique, great fundamentals from Mateo Malback on that run. Learned well.
He really did. Tevin Pearman is at right guard. Daniel Triplett is the right tackle. They did a nice job sealing off some room. It was Stephen Farmer that pulled around from the left guard spot, and you had a nice block from the blocking back, Traquan Farmer. Another injury timeout on the field. Let's take it with them. It's a Greensville County player down. We've got 3:30 left to play in the third. 33-14, Altavista on top. Come back and hear more on 105.5 KD Country.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving family since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving family since 1905.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
We'll send a shout-out to the entire Finch family, a family-serving family since 1905. Big-time Colonel fans, Oscar, and always gracious to have the support of Rob, Trey, and the entire Finch family.
They are in Bristol.
Oh.
As a matter of fact.
How about that? But they can listen to us down there.
Don't know if they're listening, but they are certainly in Bristol enjoying. Don't know if they're at the concert tonight, Kenny Chesney concert, but they're ready for the Battle of Bristol tomorrow. I know Rob's been working on tickets for that for some time.
I was going to make some joke about how I didn't know what it was. I was going to ask if there was a race down there tomorrow or something. But, of course, Tennessee and Virginia Tech set to hook up in what they expect will break the attendance mark for a college football game. 1st and 10 for the Altavista Colonels. The ball is actually on the 16-yard line. They'll hand it off to Shaheem Pinnell. Pinnell shakes out a one tackle, spinning, now dumped to the deck. Helmet first around the 5-yard line. It was a nice run from Shaheem Pinnell, and it sets up the Colonels for a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line.
We're going to see a steady dive to Shaheem now, a three-headed monster, and he hasn't scored yet.
But the only one that doesn't have a touchdown, right? Colonels have scored 5 times with 5 different players. They'll give it to him again. Whistles blow, though. The play never got started. There's a Greensville County player running off. Greensville might have had too many men on the field.
The umpire's counting now. 1, 2, 3. He take his shoes off.
Oh, gosh. Come on. They'll discuss it for a second here. Let's see if there is a penalty or if they just didn't have the ball set to play. It is.
The illegal substitution, and that hurts the Colonels.
It's going to move Altavista up half the distance to the goal, so we'll say they're on the 2.5-yard line now. 3:06 left to play in the quarter. Colonels lead 33-14. Aaron Close going to enter the game probably as the blocking back. Some more subs coming in, too, it looks like. Well, they're going to send out number 12, Jonte Gord. Pennell is still the running back. He's set up to the left of Mateo Malback. Colonels scoring on the left end zone from Oscar and I's perspective back towards the parking lot here at Greensville County High School. Here comes the shotgun snap. They'll give it to Pennell. Pennell is in the end zone for 6, and the Colonels add to the lead. It's a 2-yard scoring run from number 6, the Dream, Shaheem Pennell. He comes with 2:49 left to play in the third quarter. And Nick Boley headed out to try the extra point again. Another stoppage in play here, Oscar, for a second. Let's see what this is in regards to. Oh, number 20 for Greensville County, Isaiah Crutchfield, hobbling a bit, and he'll come off the field. Officials just wanted to give him time to get over to the sideline. Colonels will try the extra point. The scoreboard still shows 33, but they lead 39-14. Can make it 40 here on the kick. Boley has had some mixed results here on the extra point, but some of that has been due to the snaps not being on target. Let's see where this one ends up. This one's a little low. Adams was going to try and scoop it up and run, but whistles blow, and I think you're going to have to put a mark on your flag or on your penalty total. This is offside against Greensville County.
26 penalties.
26 penalties. I want you to start keeping track of that more from now on.
I think everything.
Games like this is going to be tough.
I don't know if my Pentel pen is going to run out of ink.
No, you need some more. You may want to go with a pencil or something. Bring a chalkboard. In the Altavista Central Lunenburg game in week 1, we had 14 penalties total. Here's a snap. This one's a little better. It gets to the kicking block. Line drive boot is good. And the Altavista Colonels have reached the 40-point mark. They lead Greensville 40-14. 2:49 left to play in the third quarter when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Brought to you by English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
We appreciate you joining our Friday night football party. The Colonels, they've been having a party in the end zone, Oscar. A bunch of touchdowns from a bunch of different players. They lead 40-14. Most recent one from the feet of Shaheem Pennell, a 2-yard scoring run. 6 touchdowns from 6 different people.
That's pretty neat.
It is. It is. And don't think Coach Sharnes didn't have that in his mind when he put Pennell in there for that series. And Pennell got him down close with the long run, too, similar to the way Gilbert did earlier. And Oscar, in the timeout, you got a chance to add to your penalty total. We had offsetting penalties on the extra point. It looked like holder Jacob Adams got hit as he was putting the ball to the block or after the kick, and then he might have said something to the player that hit him from Greensville County.
Unofficially, that's 28 penalties.
I'm glad you added that unofficial. That. You had some like air quotes around that unofficial.
Yeah,
right?
there was nothing air about it. That's not unofficial. It's like Bob Alvis is unofficial.
Yes. Of course, I don't know if Bob is still listening or not, but if you are, Bob, how about those Yankees? They're in the playoff hunt. You didn't think they would be.
Bob and I have had some online discussions. Just a few nicks back and forth.
Just didn't want to do it face to face. You were worried it might come to blows?
About the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Oh, okay. Colonels, actually, this penalty went against Altavista, Oscar. They're kicking it from the 25-yard line. They were not offsetting penalties.
No, so
okay. Colonels will boot this one away from the 20. We've seen kickoffs from a bunch of different locations for Altavista tonight. Here comes Boley on the run-up. It's a pretty good foot into this one. It'll get fielded by Anderson on the 27-yard line. Starts right now, cuts it back up the middle. He's got a full head of steam. Matt Aiken had his hands on him but couldn't pull him down. The rest of the Colonels got to him nicely. That was number 9, Riley Bradley, that finally drove him into the turf. Great starting field position for Greensville to scrimmage on first down with 2:40 left to play in the third quarter.
Like you said, very good. The penalty, the 15-yard penalty, hurt the Colonels because they'll be starting. Greensville County will be starting at the Altavista 43-yard line. Great field position.
Greensville's going to need an answer here, though. They ran off 14 unanswered points earlier in this third quarter. A third quarter that has seemed like it's taken forever. We're already at the 9 o'clock mark.
And the game was early starting. It was 6:57 when it started.
Shotgun formation here. 2 receivers to each side for Greensville County. This left tackle looks like he's set back about 4 yards in the backfield. No flag, though. Young wants to throw on the run. It's airborne. Picked off by Mateo Malbeck. Mormon was there to help out in the coverage, but Mateo Malbeck, a diving interception at the 25-yard line. What a nice play there by Mateo Malbeck.
Well, it looked like Odom was open, and Mateo just closed so quickly and got the ball at the very last minute. Great diving interception from Mateo on that play.
It was a nice throw on the run by Jaden Young, but Mateo Malbeck had it diagnosed and read, stepped in front, made a great catch. His second interception of the night, Oscar. Malbeck continues to do big things. The small back guy is everywhere. My dear friend Brandon Connor said that last year, and he wasn't lying.
There's a saying associated with that.
Let's see what happens on this play. We might get to use it. He's in there at quarterback. Here comes the shotgun snap. He'll hand it off. Running play here on first down. That's Jonathan Montague back in, plowing through some defenders, dragging number 20 Isaiah Crutchfield with him. Give Crutchfield credit for the tackle. It's a 5-yard pickup on first down.
Nice surge by the offensive line, and Jonathan Montague's running style is unique. When you see the ball in the crowd, you know who's got it. He grabs the ball up with both hands, runs low, runs strong.
Yeah, at least until he gets about 5 yards downfield, Oscar, he's not really interested in making people miss. He's interested in doling out some punishment.
He does enjoy that.
Here comes the shotgun snap. This time it's Shaheem Pinnell. He never got it started. Greensville County was in the backfield early. Hit him around the 30-yard line. It's probably a loss of 1. It should bring up 3rd and 6 for Altavista. 1:39 left to play. Clock rolls here in the Englishes, your complete home center. Third quarter. Colonel's on top, 40-14.
One of the officials just having a discussion with Deshaun Hamlet. It's getting a little chippy out there.
A little bit. We saw great sportsmanship early in the game, but I'd noticed a few things myself, and we'll certainly keep an eye on it. Here comes the 3rd and 6 play for Altavista. Heavy blitz, option pitch to the right. Pinnell has it. He's turned the corner around the far sideline. He's got the first down, lowers the shoulder at the 40-yard line. Delivers some punishment of his own. Gets all the way to the 45. That's first down pickup for the Altavista Colonels. Running game has been very strong tonight for Altavista.
That was a great job by Mateo getting on the edge and forcing they really had a 2-on-1 and really forced the defender to make the decision.
Yep.
The last minute, Mateo pitched a great pitch to Shaheem. Shaheem was able to get it in gear quickly. You talk about having some gears. Shaheem has gears.
He's got all of them. He can get to them a lot faster than most people. The transmission is solid. 1st and 10 for the Altavista Colonels. Same formation, blocking back and running back to the left. Malbeck will run that way on a quarterback keeper. Not a whole lot there. He covers up, gets what he can, and we'll say it's about a net gain of 0, maybe a foot. 30 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Colonels, if they unpile slowly, might not have to run another play here in the third.
The referee just marked the ball for play, 22 seconds, so the Colonels don't have to run another play. They're headed to the sideline now.
We've got 12 more minutes of regulation football in front of us. It's a 40-14 Altavista Colonel lead. Come on back and join us for this fourth quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
GMC. Come on in. Bring the family. See your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors. GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors. GMC.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Fourth quarter about to get underway. Altavista on top, 40-14. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Oscar Briggs. OB, a couple more shout-outs before we get rolling here in the fourth quarter. Kelly Shelton and Christy Tinsley tuned in. We mentioned Phil Tinsley earlier. Kelly Shelton and Christy Tinsley enjoying the football game here tonight. And if you're a Colonels fan, what's not to like, Oscar? It hasn't been total domination by Altavista. It's been a pretty solid performance.
Yeah, it has been. They put the ball on the ground a couple times, but take away the penalties, and I'm going to give them a pass on tonight on the penalties, just by the sheer volume. Not being able to adjust this officiating crew is something I'm sure that Coach Sharness will talk about this week. Diagnosing exactly what the issues were that the officiating crew didn't like about both teams, but the fact that the Colonels have not adjusted to whatever calls are being made, usually the procedure calls, they've got to fix that.
Yeah, and maybe the blemish you mentioned as far as the turnovers, they have fumbled a few times and got some of them back, but they did lose one fumble that resulted in the touchdown from Isaiah Crutchfield to scoop and score from 15 yards out. That was the second touchdown that Greensville County scored. At that point, it was 26-14. Looked like Greensville was right back in the thick of it. Since then, Altavista has expanded the lead. Allback wants to run. You talk about never getting going. I think number 4, Trajan Smith, just beat the snap back there. He was touching Malback's jersey as Mateo was reeling the football in.
Yeah, Mateo never had an opportunity. It was like somebody was in the huddle with the Colonels.
Yeah.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 15.
3rd and 15. Not quite bus ride territory like you talk about, but certainly not a high percentage pickup if you're Altavista. Let's see what they dial up here on 3rd down.
Well, look at Trajan Smith, number 4 for Greensville County. He is cramping. Was bleeding. Talking to Coach Walt to see if he can get off the field.
He's still in there. Everybody's packed up on the line of scrimmage. Nobody more than 4 yards deep for Greensville County. Option pitch to the right. Pinnell has it again. He's up the pace. Oh, boy, and he is gone. Shaheem Pinnell caught everybody by surprise, including me. It's a 60-yard touchdown, and there's a flag on the field. Hold that thought. A flag right at the 50-yard line. It was an option play to the right. Mateo Malback, again, drew the defense in, pitched it out to Pinnell. Pinnell caught it between the hash mark and the numbers. He proceeded to turn it up the alleyway and was gone, untouched. This is a holding penalty on the Altavista Colonels. It'll come back. It'll be 10 yards from right there. It should be same situation, I think, Oscar, 3rd and 15. That's what it looks like it's going to end up being. Everybody has to make the long trot back, and that'll wipe off an electrifying run. Another one from number 6, Shaheem Pinnell.
Yeah.
Did you mark that one?
Yeah. Well, no, I owed him one.
I hate to laugh. Well, I don't hate to laugh. I like to laugh, but I hate to laugh in these circumstances. 3rd and 15. Let's just redo everything, guys. I wonder if the Colonels will run the same play or maybe they'll call something else. Jonathan Montague's in there at running back now. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. The lone wide out to the right is Jordan Spinner. Allback kind of looked over that way. I wonder if he wants to. No, they're going to run that way on the option pitch. It is the same play. Well, Montague tried to hurdle the defender. He was somewhat successful. He got it out to the 45-yard line. Still well short of the first down marker. That was number 50, Raquel Anderson, that managed to pull Malback out of the sky.
And of course,
Montague,
there's a conference going on.
There is a discussion over here between 3 officials right where the tackle was made. They dropped a flag down.
God.
They dropped a flag down. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is, though. It's a trip. It's a trip on an Altavista player. I would think that Greensville County is just going to decline it, correct? It'll be 3rd and 10.
Oh, no, that's 29 penalties.
And the officials are discussing now. They're holding up some hand signals and 3rd down. We're going to repeat 3rd down, or are they going to decline the penalty?
Well,
let's get some organization here, guys.
It's at the 45. I think tripping's a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Guess what? It'll be 3rd and 15 if they take it again.
I think, they're going to decline it. They've declined it. They discussed with Coach Mario Walton, and Coach Walton said, no, just decline it. It brings up 4th and 10. It should be 4th and 10. The Colonels, I think, are going to punt this football away. 10 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Spot the ball. I thought maybe the clock might restart, but no official from the signal, so how would you know, right? 40-14. There he gives the signal now. Colonels on top big, and they're going to punt it away here. Mateo Malback. It's been that kind of a night, folks. If it sounds like we don't know what's going on, that's accurate. Most of the time we don't. Strange game. Colonels do lead, though, by a bunch. Maulback's punt, not a great one. Got it off the side of his foot to the right. Nearly hit a Greensville player. Did take a decent Altavista bounce.
That's Colonel's ball. He'll grab it.
Boy.
If Traquan's got it,
Traquan Farmer has it. It's a fumble. He's still on his feet. Now he's going to go down. There's a flag on away from the ball. Just Jonathan Montague just blocked the player, and they flagged him for it.
That's the Colonel's ball.
Okay, it is an Altavista. It should be a Colonel's football. Here's what happened. The ball had nearly rolled dead, and number 50, Raquel Anderson, picked it up. He didn't think the ball was in play. The Colonels realized the ball was in play. Traquan Farmer wisely just ripped it out of his hands. He went down to the ground. It should be an Altavista Colonels football regardless of the penalty.
Meanwhile, Jonathan Montague, seeing Traquan with the ball, put a block on a Greensville player.
A legal block.
And then the official threw his flag in. It's Colonel's ball.
Strange night. Night. It's not even Halloween yet. It's not even October yet.
Let me preface it that it should be Colonel's ball.
It should be. The officials are discussing it. Mario Walton's standing there with his hands on his hips. He's sort of incredulous. He's not saying anything. He's just listening right now. The officials are discussing over here towards the Greensville County sideline. That's where the action happened. Let's reset the scene. It was a fourth down punting situation. The ball had nearly come to a stop, but a Greensville County player, Raquel Anderson, picked the football up, thought the ball would be dead, and Traquan Farmer, instead of tackling, he did the right thing. He just took the football.
If his knee would have been on the ground, it would have been a dead ball, but he didn't kneel down. He bent down.
Okay, here comes a penalty. They'll call it a personal foul on the Altavista Colonels. That was what Jonathan Montague did, which we probably don't agree with, but either way, they're not going to change that. He's barking out. We should try and listen. They're going to call it Greensville County football. Maybe they said he was down. That brings up a roar from the crowd. Roar might be a little overzealous. A cheer from the crowd. Here we go. The Colonels still lead. They're on defense, though. They're up 40-14. 10.5 minutes left to play. Our apologies. We did the best we could there, fans. Sometimes those weird situations are hard to describe, and then when you don't have a microphone for the ref, it's hard to know what's going on. I have a feeling, Oscar, in a night like tonight, even with the microphone, we wouldn't quite know what was going on. The referees are over there discussing with Coach Mike Sharness. I think he's probably as confused as we are, although from that far sideline, they may not have had as good a view as we did. It's going to get spotted on the 50-yard line, so that's about right with the 15-yard personal foul penalty that I don't think you can really hold against Jonathan Montague too much. Maybe we go back and look at the tape and see that it was an illegal hit, but I seriously doubt that. And it's been a long break without football. It's already been a game that's taken a long time. We've still got just over 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Greensville County here from the left hash mark will snap it from the 50-yard line. Young's going to take off the running play. He's not going anywhere. Tevin Pierman ran him down from the backside. That's a loss of 4 there. Nice job by Tevin Pierman. We talked about his quickness for a 195-pounder is about as quick as they get.
And you won't find a quicker nose tackle around.
Sure. 2nd and 13 coming up for the Greensville County Eagles. I'm going to give some compliments to both coaches and their coaching staffs. I think with all the weirdness we've had, all the penalties, I thought both sides have done a nice job keeping their cool here tonight, Oscar. Sometimes you just got to kind of throw your hands up in the air, scratch your head, and move on to the next play.
They've probably done a better job at keeping their cool than I have.
Maybe so. Hey, you said it, not me. 2 wide receivers to each side here. Greensville County on the far hash mark now. That's the right side. Colonel showing blitz from the outside linebacker spots. Here comes passing play. Young pump fakes. Now he throws. Nearly another interception from Mateo Maulback. It would have been if he pulled it in. He can't believe himself. That would have been his 3rd interception of the day.
That was a pick 6. There was nobody between him and the end zone.
He might have been going too fast the other way, just couldn't secure the football. It will bring up 3rd and 13. Talk to me, buddy.
Well, we talked on the ride up here about the mishandled snap that sometimes Mateo looks like he takes his eye off the ball, and that was another classic example where I think he glanced to see exactly where he was, what he needed to do when he got the ball, because he had a great jump on that despite the pump fake.
Indeed.
And he certainly had 6 in his brain to get there.
He read it perfectly. Same formation, 2 receivers to each side. The running back is to Young's left. Here's a shotgun snap. He wants to throw on 3rd and 13. Heaves it out towards the middle of the field. This one's nearly intercepted by Shaheem Pinnell, but Maulback has it on the rebound. But Malbeck stiffs arms of the defender and gets run out of bounds over here on the right side. You got to scan the field for flags, and now multiple flags do come out. This is going to be an interception. It should be Colonel's football. I think it was a block in the back on the return attempt, which is not that unusual on an interception return. Guess what? Malbeck just missed an INT. This will be his third INT if it stands. I have a feeling it's going to.
Well, Shaheen thought he should have intercepted, and he probably should have. He had a great jump on it. But the old tip drill, nice job by Mateo staying involved, staying focused. The old tip drill got the ball and get a great stiff arm and tight rope down the sideline.
Block in the back. There's the signal from the official, what we expected. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty. It's going to be Altavista first down from probably their own 40-yard line after the yardage is stepped off. So it's a fourth takeaway for the Altavista Colonels this game, Oscar. Malbeck has 3 interceptions. Matt Aiken has a fumble recovery. They had 7 takeaways last week. So the Colonels defense, again, a ball-hawking, turnover-oriented type of defense.
Which we've come to know and love out of Coach Revis.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a great brand of football to watch. It really is.
I mean, that's the one constant that you're going to have with the Colonels and Coach Revis is the defense is going to be aggressive. They're going to fly to the football.
Wonderful to see a few substitutions here as we inch our way closer to the final bell. Colonels do lead 40-14. 9:19 left to play. In the English is your complete home center, fourth quarter. 3 receivers to the left side. That's the wide side of the field. Colonels operating from the near hash mark from Oscar and I's perspective. It's a wide receiver sweep. They give it to Chancellor Mormon. He's around the corner on the right side, sifts through a couple defenders. He's got 3 men draped on his back, and they'll ride him down to the turf after a decent little 8-yard pickup. He's helped up by one of his linemen, number 75, Melton Caleb. Everybody unpiles, and they'll head back to the football here as the clock continues to roll with 8:58 left to play in regulation.
You're going to see, I think, you may have seen the last pass play unless they get into a desperate down and distance situation, and even then you may punt. You're going to burn clock right now.
Colonels looking to the sideline for the play. They're in the white road jerseys with orange pants, black helmets. Fans, Colonels are back at home for a big rivalry game against Rustburg next week. Sure, Oscar and I will discuss that some in the Subway post-game show. Low snap, Malbeck scoops it up. It's clothesline to the deck there in the backfield. Might have just got it back to the line of scrimmage. Helped up by the tackler at number 15, Jerice Arrington. So that's nice to see. Some sportsmanship there as this game, outcome anyway, Oscar, pretty much decided, barring some kind of a major miracle for Greensville.
8-11, and you're at 4 possessions. So, yeah, I think that the outcome's decided. The margin of victory may not be. And
Colonels would love to score again.
Absolutely.
Farmer's in there as a blocking back to Malbeck's right. The running back is Montague to the left. Looks like he drew Greensville County offside. Another penalty for Oscar to mark down. It gets the Colonels close to the first down marker, but it's not going to give them a first down. It's going to set up 3rd and 2. Altavista leading 40-14. We saw a barrage of scoring in that third quarter from both sides. That third quarter lasted easily as long as some halves we've seen, don't you think?
Yes. The stoppage of play.
Yep. We had a couple injury timeouts. We had a lot of penalties and a lot of scoring. Here comes the 3rd and 2 situation. No, it was enough for a first down. It's 1st and 10, pardon me. It's a handoff play to, handoff play to Jonathan Montague. He just got shy of the line of scrimmage, called a loss of half a yard. Backs the Colonels up to the 44-yard line. It was Jonathan Montague, junior running back for the Altavista Colonels. He's listed at 205. Very well put together. About as solid as a football player you will see. Hard-working guy, too. Malbeck unsure of the play. He needs a signal again from Coach Mike Sharns. Now he's got it, set to go with 7 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Low crouch, gets the helmet high snap, fakes it, wants to run it right up the gut. Not a whole lot of room there. Big mass of bodies. Does get it about a yard beyond the line of scrimmage, so we'll say he's on the 46-yard line now, maybe a yard and a half. Sets up 3rd and 9 for the Altavista Colonels. They're on top, 40-14. I'm Kyle. He is Oscar. Subway postgame show on the way. Don't go changing that dial. Some reports from some other games. Talk about this one. We'll get set for Rustburg next week.
Which that's always a fun game.
That's a huge one. They were leading Allegheny 14-7. Looks like the Colonels are going to be 3-0 after tonight. Option play to the left. Ballback's going to keep this one. He's got a lot of room there up the left seam. He might be gone. He's to the 25, the 20, the 10. Got tripped up and falls down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Stayed down for a moment, but I think it's because he thought he should have scored. He did get it inside the 10-yard line. Long run there from Mateo Malback on the option play on third down.
Had a little bit of trouble getting the chains moved. The umpire was trying to get them to hurry up and move. I'm sure the change crew was probably waiting to see if there was laundry on the field.
I can't say that I blame them tonight.
But what a run. What a job.
Nice
what a great hole sealing that edge and allowing Mateo to get outside.
I think Mateo was slightly surprised at first when the man that he's supposed to read for the pitch or the keep read never appeared. So he kept it and ran as long as he could. Colonels will scrimmage here, first and goal from their own 9-yard line. New quarterback in the game is Bailey Stinnett. Stinnett's ready for the snap count here, calls it out on the shotgun. Hands off, gives it to Christian Gilbert. Gilbert knocked backwards for a loss of about 5. Not a whole lot Gilbert could do on that play. Stinnett is the junior varsity quarterback. Greensville and Altavista did not play a JV game yesterday, Oscar, so it's nice to get Stinnett a little bit of work here in a blowout affair.
Sure, the B team did play yesterday. Don't know what the outcome was. I think I've got access to that, but we talked to Coach Shaughness, and really the distance involved for the JV team is just not feasible to do that.
Tough to do it on a school night. Guess you could do like basketball, play a doubleheader before, but gosh, we wouldn't have got out of here till midnight then. Running play on second and goal. Didn't go much of anywhere again. The Greensville County defense tightening up. That was Christian Gilbert on the carry. Colonels on top, 40-14. 5 minutes left to play as the clock continues to roll here in the Englishes, your complete home center fourth quarter. Oscar, I know it's hot, but the fall apparel has arrived.
Woohoo!
At Englishes, the fall Carhartt apparel. I know you get excited about that.
I'll be down there Monday.
I know you will. They're open at 8 tomorrow, but I know you've got some weekend plans.
I do.
Third and goal coming up for the Colonels. They've got it back to the 10-yard line, so Gilbert must have gained a few more yards than I gave him credit for. He's set up to the right of Bailey Stinnett. Stinnett's a freshman quarterback. He'll hand it off to Gilbert again. Gilbert makes the first guy miss. Now he's looking for room to run, reverses direction, now cuts back up the middle. Not a bad job getting it for about a 2-yard gain because he was 6 or 7 yards deep at one point in his own backfield. Going to bring up fourth and goal. And think the Colonels want to try a field goal again, maybe, Oscar?
I don't know. A lot of indecision. Now they're trotting Nick Boley out now.
They've got 3 timeouts if they needed to use one, and they lead 40-14, so another penalty isn't going to do much damage other than make you have to pick up the pen again.
You're probably going to see one here, either a penalty. I don't think they've got enough time from when the officials set the ball ready for play.
This is actually Zach Sundblom that will kick for the Colonels. He is also a senior. Number 89 is set. Jacob Adams will still hold. They're ready for it. It's a perfect snap. Sundblom gets the leg into it. Might have gotten deflected. It was short. And
there's another flag. Jake Adams got drilled again.
Multiple times that's happened.
And so that's going to be unnecessary. It's going to be a first down. It should be.
Don't like to see that. I mean, that's honestly, it's about the most dangerous play you can have at football. A prone holder just sitting there on his knees, and you go spear him like that. I know things happen. I'm not criticizing anybody. Are they going to wave it off?
He's going to wave that
flag.
I mean, Jake got drilled.
Oh, gosh. He picked up the flag, and he waved it off. There is no penalty, so you don't have to mark anything down. It's going to be Greensville County football. I think they're going to move this back out to the 20-yard line. Any kick, we learned that last year, any kick that breaks the plane of the goal line should come back to the 20-yard line. It'll be Greensville County football there with a 40-14 deficit. Altavista on top, 40-14. Thanks for staying with us in what has been one of the most fun nights I can remember, Oscar, but also at the same time, one of the strangest nights I can remember.
Interesting, and when you think about last year, the Colonels 41-12, 40-14 tonight, very similar score. And we know Coach Mario Walton is an excellent coach. He did a great job with his team last year, getting them to the third round of the state playoffs where they were eliminated by Buffalo Gap. But certainly to go first 2 rounds of the state and get wins is admirable.
Says a lot. Sure does. We were impressed with it's not easy to be impressed with a team when they get blown out like the Colonels blew out Greensville last year, but we were impressed, and we kept an eye on them as the year went on, and they won 7 out of 9 ball games at one point. I think you told me on the ride up to Rappahannock, dude, they're in the playoffs. They're 7-3, and it's pretty impressive stuff. They're going to fall to 1-2 on the 2016 season. Colonels will go to 3-0. While we were talking, the Colonels took a timeout. I think Mike Sharnas just wanted to discuss with his guys after what we thought might have been an unnecessary shot on the Altavista holder, Jacob Adams. I think maybe he just wanted to tell his guys, hey, no need to retaliate, no need to respond to that. Let's just play football. We've got 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. Let's play a clean game. Let's play hard and get on the bus and enjoy the win and go home.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I can't read minds, but
no, that's we know Coach Sharnas relatively well. I have full access to him. I got to believe that that's the right thing to do.
Greensville County's got some subs in there, too. Altavista the same way. It's a new quarterback for Greensville, number 5. Don't have him on our roster either. Maybe another jersey change. 3 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in regulation. Colonels on top, 40-14. Stick around for the Subway postgame show. We'll keep it brief, but it'll be a lot of information jam-packed into a brief session.
There's a baseball field on the other side of the football field. A lot of activity go over there, and there's a kid over there that every time there's a play run, even then, there's a kid throwing a bottle up over here on the right-hand side. And during the action, it looks like the flag's getting thrown. It's scaring the bejesus out of me.
I bet. Running play here, naked bootleg, going to get stuffed out by Matt Aiken. Aiken did tackle the ball carrier up high. No flags come out. He was helped out by number 64, DeAndre Jones. First time we called DeAndre Jones' name tonight. Nice play by him. And, yes, there is an impromptu baseball, wiffle ball kind of game going on over there on the baseball field. It's a lot like Prince Edward's setup. The Colonel's bench is over there around second base.
Remind me to tell you of a YouTube baseball video you need to see. Randy Johnson, wiffle ball.
Okay.
You need to YouTube it.
Oscar Briggs, in addition to being award-winning and an all-around great guy, he's the social media dynamo now. Third down play here, 3rd and 11 for Greensville County. It's a handoff. That's number 3, DeAndre Anderson. He got spun around. He's short of the first down marker, but he's close. He's only about a yard shy of the 30-yard line, which is where he needed to be. We're under 2 minutes to play. That's not all the things Oscar is.
Depending on who you talk to. Nice play by Jaden Martin, a freshman. Nice opportunity to get some extra playing time for some of these underclassmen. Coach Sharnas and his coaching staff has been very good about that through the years in one-sided games and going deep into the bench and getting experience, and that just pays off down the line in the oncoming years.
It's a great way to get him some reps against pretty good competition. Colonel show blitz here on 4th down. Ball carrier is DeAndre Anderson. He's got the first down, made some guys miss. That was a nice run by Anderson. He had to do it pretty much by himself. He's tackled by Jaden Gilbert and Jordan Spinner.
And let's face it, there's some good ball players on this Greensville County team. They've got the athletes at the skill positions. The offensive line has done a good job tonight as well. Despite the score, this is not a bad football team. And just we talked about it earlier. That Coach Mario Walton's very, very good at developing his talent. You'll see this team advance, and I look to see him in the playoffs again.
58 seconds left to play. Here comes a running play again that he gave it to DeAndre Anderson. He sifted through the defensive line. He's headed down the near sideline. Running through some tacklers. Now Jaden Gilbert brings him down with a little bit of help from Jaden Martin. Also number 12, Jonte Gord in on the stop. Nice blocking over there on the edge. It's 1st and 10 for Greensville County.
The one Altavista player that had a chance to stop that play early was Jordan Spinner, and he was taken to the ground.
42 seconds left to play now, Oscar. I think a point of pride here. The Colonels' defense would like to keep Greensville County out of the end zone.
Well, let's give Coach Walton some credit. He's getting some experience for some players that haven't been in as well.
See if they hand it off to Anderson again. I think they were supposed to, but the play is busted. Quarterback's going to try and make something out of nothing. He's brought down by exchange student Nicholas Grieschlaber. We talked to Grieschlaber last week, Dave and I. Of course, Dave Haney is from the old country there. He's German. He knew Nicholas was German right away. They have that kindred spirit kind of thing. And Nicholas was in good spirits at the game last week at Prince Edward, and he makes a tackle here. This time they do hand it off to DeAndre Anderson. He's through the middle of the defense. He might be looking to score. Inside the 10, brought down by the Colonel secondary.
We're out of time.
And that will do it. Final play of the football game, and the Colonels win on the road at Greensville County, 40-14. Subway postgame show on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. And they're priced right with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista. The next time you get ready to make a change. Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Best deals on wheels.
Introducing D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. A name you've grown to trust, Donnie Bryant is back with D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. As an American Standard dealer, D.L. Bryant Heating has the tools and the talent to handle all of your heating and cooling issues, large or small. Call 841-1580. That's 841-1580 for D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. Call 841-1580 for a name you can trust, Donnie Bryant and D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling.
Compassionate Care Choices, Autumn Care, 24-hour skilled nursing, inpatient, outpatient, physical, occupational, and speech therapies. Autumn Care invites you to tour their facility in 2016, receiving the bronze quality by the American Healthcare Association. 5-star rating by Centers for Medicare, Medicaid Services. Autumn Care, a member of Sabre Healthcare Group, serving Altavista and surrounding areas since 1989.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, we've ended an interesting ball game. The Colonels end with the win, 40-14. I'm Kyle Haney. He's Oscar Briggs. It's the Subway postgame show. So glad that you have stuck around. We'll get you some scores from some other games. We'll try and wrap up shop as quickly as we can. Gosh, OB, where do we start?
Let's start with 40-14. It's a Colonels win.
I like it. Let me tell you about the scoring then. Chancellor Mormon got it going with a 7-yard touchdown for the Altavista Colonels. They went up 7-0. Pardon me, they went up 6-0. That extra point was no good. Jacob Adams was on the receiving end of a touchdown pass from Mateo Malbeck, a 74-yard scoring strike. Malbeck got in on the ground, a 2-yard scoring run after the Matt Aiken fumble recovery. Then the second half rolled around. Colonels led 20-0 at halftime, if you recall. Things were looking good. We didn't think Altavista was playing great. Boy, we didn't know what we were in for in the fourth quarter. Jonathan Montague got it started with a 55-yard rushing touchdown. And then Greensville County answered with back-to-back touchdowns. It was quarterback Jaden Young with the long pass to DeAndre Anderson. They recovered a fumble and ran it into the end zone on the ensuing Altavista possession. A 15-yard fumble recovery from Isaiah Crutchfield. Christian Gilbert got on the board for the Altavista Colonels, a 25-yard scoring run set up by his own long run to get it there. It was Shaheem Pennell later on from 2 yards out. Mateo Malbeck had 3 interceptions in there. Count them 3. That's pretty much all she wrote on a wild football game. You counted how many penalty flags?
Again, this is unofficial, and I got a little bit late start, but it looks like about 32. The stats, we'll get those from Joe Andrews later in the weekend, and we'll figure out exactly how many it was for sure. But it was way too many on both teams.
It was a lot, and there was a lot of reasons for it. It was a lot of false start, illegal procedure type of stuff. Interesting, strange game in a lot of respects, but we had a lot of fun in a lot of respects too. Let's take one final timeout. We'll come back with some scores. We'll come back with some player of the game stuff. We'll talk a little bit about the Rustburg Red Devils next week. That's a big game that I know a lot of folks are looking forward to. Colonels win 40-14 on the road at Greensville County. You heard it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
Conditioned steering wheel or high-performance supercharger to use Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil, now just $5.79 a quart at Napa. Mobil 1 offers premium protection for all cars, premium or not so premium. So give your ride Mobil 1 synthetic, just $5.79 a quart. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 9/30/16.
Brought to you by Napa of Altavista, proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels.
Hello, this is Jerry Miley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Final segment of the Subway post-game show. You got two great locations in Altavista, Main Street, and then also in the Walmart on Clarion Road. Oscar, let me grab a couple scores for you while we collect our thoughts about player of the game and talk a little bit about Rustburg next week. EC Glass beating GW Danville 56-28. First time Glass has beat GW since 2005. Covington shut out our friends up at Nelson County 64-0. JF lost 36-35 to Magna Vista. Brookville all over Gretna 52-13. Buckingham leading William Campbell 46-38. That game not done yet. I'll search for a few more scores here, but any final thoughts on tonight, or maybe you just want to get right into the player of the game? It's up to you.
Yeah, just a few thoughts on tonight. Again, both teams put the ball on the ground too much. The Colonels defensively did a relatively good job, with the exception of that 2 or 3 minute span where they really just looked like they totally lost concentration and were very frustrated and really let the momentum change the game, and the game got away from them for those 2 or 3 minutes. But they gathered themselves, gathered their composure, had a nice drive, and responded, and from then it pretty much was decided that was the drive that really broke the back of Greensville County.
Well, I'll give one final thought on the evening. It was 6 touchdowns from 6 different Colonels. That's pretty impressive, and that also speaks to the offensive line. And I'll throw the blocking backs in there too, guys like Traquan Farmer, Aaron Close, and Josh McClure. Just as a side note, McClure got injured there in the second quarter, and we did not see him again. Don't want to speculate on what the injury is, but we hope Josh is okay. Back to my point, last week, not last night, I think the Colonels' O-line kind of took to heart that performance. They didn't get a lot of first downs. They didn't score, and I think they made a point to get better this week. And, gosh, it showed. I mean, when you get 6 of your players, 6 of your skill guys in the end zone, that means the offensive line is doing something right, too. Nothing to take away from those 6 skill guys. They earned every part of that. It was neat to see all those different touchdowns from different people.
Well, and another point, with the number of penalties that were called, it would have been easy for the Colonels to lose their composure. Yeah. Easy for Greensville County to lose their composure. Despite the fact that there were some personal foul type penalties, they weren't the trash talking, cheap shot type penalties. So, I think Coach Sharness has got to be pleased with that. The coaching staff, as they came down from upstairs, they were a little bit disappointed with the performance tonight from a couple of aspects, and certainly the number of penalties was one of those.
I think they got to feel better about it than last week, though. Sure. I know the defense didn't throw a shutout this week, but the defense only allowed 1 touchdown.
That's
one
right.
of those was scooped up on a fumble. So, nice night all the way around. A few more scores for you, OB. Dan River up 36-0 on Tunstall. Stanton River was a big winner at Liberty. And a score for our opponent next week, Rustburg Red Devils. They beat Allegheny 27-7 very quickly before the player of the game stuff. It's always a great game. We were so excited when this rivalry got renewed a few years ago. Seems like every game since then has been an exciting ball game. I think next week going to be no exception. I expect a big crowd there at Altavista from both sides.
Well, that's one thing. Both schools travel extremely well and rally behind their teams, and we were excited when the rivalry got renewed, and we haven't been disappointed. There have been some great games during that series, and the one that really comes to mind immediately was the game at Rustburg with the Walker Allen field goal.
Yep.
Because that was a great ball game. I look for more of the same next week.
Sure, I agree. Player of the game time, I'll go first for Greensville County because that's normally what I do. Got to throw the quarterback, Jaden Young, out there, man. He can really throw that football. He's got some speed. He's just a junior. I know he sat behind a senior last year, just from listening to the game, last year's game, courtesy of Feller Chevrolet, by the way. But I like Jaden Young there.
I'm going with a junior as well, but I'm going to go a little bit different direction. I'm going with DeAndre Anderson. Special teams, he did a nice job with the returns, was the real core of the running game. So for me, DeAndre Anderson's player of the game.
Good stuff there. On the other side for the Colonels, a lot of ways you could go. I toyed with the idea of just taking that offensive line. I thought they were super. I thought Stephen Farmer was great on offense and defense. A lot of those runs, he pulled around and cleared the space. However, I got to go with a guy. Number 3, the senior. There is no drawback to Mateo Malback. I mean, come on. He ran a touchdown. He threw a touchdown. He had 3 interceptions. It's simple, right?
Yeah, it
Maybe
is.
not. You're thinking, though.
Well, I
don't want you to be a yes man.
And I'm not. I am. I've got somebody in mind that really we haven't called a lot. And I thought he helped set the tone early on the offensive line and on the defensive line. We called his name a bunch on special teams as well. Tevin Pierman had a great game.
Nice.
Very pleased with the way he played, and I think he was a big part of the success tonight. It helped set the tone early again, and we called him a bunch. Had a bunch of tackles. Tevin Pierman.
You're so right. That's a great pick by you. That's why I tell you don't be a yes man, because you come up with things like that. You're so right.
Well, we've got the opportunity. We don't have to agree. We could go with one as a consensus, but we got the opportunity, and this is a team game. So
sure is.
I like to spread the wealth.
I think it's so great. Great working with you again. It was fun getting back in the saddle with Dave Haney. Always good to team up with Agent Zero, though. We'll enjoy the ride back. Hopefully you folks do the same. Let me tell you about the folks that bring you this ball game, and all those people listening out of town. Well, you can thank these guys and gals, too. Autumn Care in Altavista. They're specializing in 24-hour skilled nursing care, physical, speech, and occupational therapy. D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. Call Donnie at 841-1580. That's 841-1580. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, Highview has it all. Shout out to our buddy George Rosser, if he's still listening. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving families since 1905. The Altavista Office of Economic Development. We invite you to come find one of a kind. PCM Industrial Services, now with mobile welding and repair service. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between. The Moose Family Center in Altavista. Come on down to join and be a Moose. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels. El Cazador, Altavista's original Mexican restaurant. Napa Auto Parts, find your Napa know-how on Main Street in Altavista. English's, your complete home center, now offering a complete line of Carhartt clothing for men or women, and they open at 8 a.m. on Saturdays. First National Bank, helping you bring home more bacon, and Fellers Chevrolet, now offering a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Big thanks to Eleanor and Katie, our sound engineers. This does it for the Subway postgame show. Colonels win 40-14 on the road at Greensville County. We'll talk to you next week at home. The Rustburg Red Devils in town. It's that Campbell County rivalry. They're going to renew it on Friday night. Subway pregame show starts at 6:30. Until then, enjoy the real country music on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country, WKBE Altavista, Lynchburg.